That was beast.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
One city, one stage, one trophy.
And another kill to find Fallen.
One moment. ESL 1 New York 2018.
has finally arrived here at the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai. This city upon the sea can barely contain the excitement here at China Joy as we go into our grand finals matchup between Tai Lu and Energy, and today is set to be an explosive one. Of course, I couldn't do it by myself, as I'm your Frank Sinatra, the host, and this is my Rat Pack, and I've got Pimp and Vendetta. Some might even say it's Pro League nostalgia, but overall, I think I'm glad I have you guys around. I'm not real sure. But
I think we're glad to have you around, Trace.
Yeah, it's mixed feelings. You know, it has its ups and downs, right? Like, as with anything.
We'll live by.
More downs, though.
Guys, we've had quite the showing here at China Joy. Each day has been action-packed. Starting, I mean, even with the Virtus Pro Tai Lu game, was just absolutely bonkers, one might say.
That was not a beautiful game, but that was entertaining Counter-Strike. That's something we needed for quite some time. VP to once again show that they're actually capable of at least entertain us instead of just losing around. So that was a great game. Tai Lu ended up going to the final, and I feel that's a good one for them because I feel they were the better team. They were the ones making the least mistakes, and they deserve to go to the final here in their home country. I think it's going to be a great thing for them now going up against NRG.
Absolutely. I mean, getting to play in front of their home crowd. They lost that opportunity at CAC previously a month ago. Now they want redemption. They already gotten one scalp in actually defeating Virtus Pro. That's a big one for them as well. And if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, you don't get chances to win IEM championships that often. This might be the biggest chance Tai Lu ever has.
But might be the only chance Tai Lu ever has. Who knows? We don't know for sure. We can only speculate as to what is exactly going to go down here. And guys, for all intents and purposes, could you have forecasted this final?
Yes. I'm going to be bold enough to say that I felt pretty confident about seeing these two teams in it. Obviously, there's always a dark horse in the running. I think Gambit could have been one of those. I mean, we did see some positives out of Virtus Pro as well in that semifinals. So, yeah, it could have swung with some other teams, but it did feel like at least Energy were set for that grand finals. The London minor was a bit of a fluke in that sense, but I'm happy that we do get the somewhat expected finals in any case.
Well, we talked about forecast, and well, we got some guys, and they're basically on their own over there. How's the weather to our commentary duo, which is Chad and Matthew? You might know them as the Spud and Sadakist. Guys, what's it looking like over there?
You know, it's looking a little bit humid, pretty hot, but I can answer you this. You said this might be Tai Lu's only chance. Interesting fact for you, 8 years ago, Tai Lu played in the final at IEM Shanghai. It was the only time they've been in the final as an organization. It was the only time an Asian team has been in the final. They lost to Fnatic. So this is a bit of a resurgence for them at return at the home event. By the way, just interesting to know as well, DSN was on that Fnatic team. He's here coaching Boot.
Yeah, and he loves some Asian Counter-Strike, so it's a small world. But I'm just really curious, Halvor, where's your suitcase at, mate?
I mean, come on, man. Like,
yeah, don't you leave tomorrow?
Is nowhere safe?
No, let's be honest. Like, how do you lose your suitcase for 6 days? Like, I've lost mine before, but normally you get it back.
I don't really think that's his fault at that point.
Well, we can blame someone. We may as well blame him.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, no, this one's going to be a good one. I think the fact of the matter is Tai Lu with that crowd, this is the chance for them to take that title. And NRG, well, look, they're going to be a little bit disappointed after all the major falling apart, not quite making it in there. This could be a consolation prize for them going into their little mini player break.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, Tai Lu in front of the home crowd, a whole different story because it's a chance to finally win it for an Asian team to engrave their name on an IEM trophy is unbelievable in its own right. Like I say, 8 years ago, they played in this final. Again, different iteration of Counter-Strike, but that's how long it's been.
It's been an organization that's been around forever, so let's see if they can take it away, boys.
Take it away, we will. Thank you very much for your time, guys. We wish you the best of luck and nothing but happiness and stuff or whatever you do over there when you're off camera. We don't really know. That's the thing.
We've heard rumors, but
yeah, there
can't
are
really disclose those on camera.
Some interesting speculations about what goes on over at their commentary desk when the cameras aren't on. Either way, the cameras are on right now, and it is almost showtime. But how are we going to go to showtime if we don't hype this thing all the way up? Let's check it out.
Welcome to the Acer Predator pre-show.
Yes, indeed. The Acer Predator pre-show has arrived for the final time here in Shanghai with, well, I guess us. It's not going to be with anybody else. It's just going to be with us.
It's going to be us.
Okay, so I think it's very important at this time that we kind of paint the picture of how these teams got here. And we can do that with a little bit of visual aid one might say. So perhaps we pull up the brackets for Group A and kind of see how this one actually got to the point that we're at. Halvor, walk me through Group A bracket.
All right, Group A kind of worked out the way we initially intended it, maybe, or at least in one part. Energy cruising through their victories with a win over 5 Power to start things off. Lost the map to Hellraisers, but still made it through to the semifinals. As for Virtus Pro, they had a bit of a rough start, losing to Hellraisers, but managed to bounce back again, getting a win over 5 Power, and then revenge time versus Hellraisers, which is somewhat surprising, but still made it there.
Well, they did make it there. That's exactly what happened. Energy, though, do top this group as well as the semifinal, as well as a chance here to take the grand final. Let's go ahead and switch it over to Group B. And Pimp, for all intents and purposes, tell me how Tyloo got here.
I mean, we saw Tyloo beat Greyhound in a match where Greyhound actually had great honor in that game. Tyloo went on to beat Booth, that beat Gambit in the first round as well. The big disappointment of this tournament, I think it's fair to say, Gambit didn't live up to the expectations. They ended up winning against Booth, though, in the lower bracket, went into the semifinal, but lost hardly yesterday against Energy to a team that was just simply better on every single aspect of the game. Now, as for Tyloo, they won against Gambit, booked their semifinal place, had one thriller against Virtus Pro yesterday, as we saw, or 2 days ago, and that was just how they got to the final. Overall, I would say Gambit, a little bit disappointing they didn't play better in the group stages, a little bit disappointing they didn't bite more through in the semifinal, but we got the 2 best team in the finals race.
I think that is exactly right. We can even take a real quick look at the playoff group, bracket just so you know how Energy and Tyloo are here in case you are secretly watching from work, like I know some of you do.
A lot of them are.
Might be.
Yeah, hats off to you guys if you're skipping out on what your employer is telling you to do. And I'm kidding, don't do that. Also, pay attention to school, finish high school, all that good stuff. But yes, guys, this is about time to jump into this bad boy. And for all intents and purposes, again, we do have a best of 3 today. So we don't have the randomness of a BO1. There should be no excuse from either team here. And in some ways, this is a potential for both these teams to kind of capitalize and really validate themselves.
I mean, each team have the different angle, right? Tyloo, as we just mentioned, this is the first time in 8 years they're in a final. This is probably the best chance in a long, long while to win an international event. IEM is not kidding, you know, that's a big event for all teams attending. Now, for Energy, they had a horrible showing at the minor in London. They didn't qualify for the major, which was a huge disappointment considering how well they've been playing as of lately. So both teams go into this one with a different angle, and both teams will be highly disappointed if they don't win.
Yeah, and considering, you know, the lay of the land as well, it's not necessarily, you know, these teams are going to be mainstays in finals either. So this is a massive opportunity for them to actually get their names engraved. And that's a big honor, and that's part of Counter-Strike legacy for forever. So they definitely want to jump at this chance.
Well, the reality is this. We can see Energy on the screen now, but this Energy was a promising North American squad through the last Pro League season up until now. I mean, they did falter a little bit when it came to qualifying for the major, but what is the old proverb? I think it's ish happens.
Yeah.
And with that saying, now they have to move past that. They have to look past it and sort of overcome that in a way, because you know that's gonna, or it has probably put like a mental sort of barrier there.
Of course, but I think it's kind of a path that every champion, you know, eventual champion has to take at some point. You can't exactly just rise to the top without meeting any sort of adversity. And for Energy, they kind of chose a poor time at least to have that downswing, which you know, meant that they're not going to be part of the major. But still, it has to happen. You have to get a couple of punches in your face before you actually step to the very top of the podium. And I think that's, you know, that's fine as long as you have the mental strength to actually work through it. And I think, you know, the fact that we didn't see any like rush roster changes from there and after crashing out of the qualifiers, I think that's a promising sign. I think that's something that shows you that they're going to be able to work with it going forward, and they're going to be a mainstay. They're
going to be a mainstay. Well, I think the true sentiment that I want to get across today is this, and there's really only one way to prove this. Is China #1? We don't know. They could be #2. In fact, if you're in chat right now, go ahead and type 1 for China, 2 for USA, or vice versa. Just start typing whatever you want. Either way, it is almost time to bring these teams out, get them sit down, situated, locked in, and loaded, and USB plugged in right away. However, before that, we got to meet them first. We'll be right back with the teams after this break.
All eyes are on you, so give them greatness with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks and game like the pros. When you see the unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you'll find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the prize pool of Intel Extreme Masters. Game like a pro, because the world is watching.
Red Bull gives you wings. Gentlemen, welcome IEM Shanghai 2018 final stage! I'm DX Master, welcome! This is a conversation between gods. It is a battle between men. I asking you guys only one question. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it on! Welcome our two teams on the stage from China, Thailand, and US and RG. Welcome! Gentlemen, please be seated and get ready. Please be seated and get ready. And Pentat, coach, come on. Come here, Pentat. This time, only one question. Are you ready? Let's go. Remember that? Title! All right. NRG. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
NRG! All right. Go big or go home. Make your choice. 'Cause this your time, your moment, nothing can hold us now! Shake hands and the game begins!
I am absolutely speechless. There is nothing that I could possibly say, or any of us could possibly say, to include you viewers at home, that is going to top what that man just did on that stage.
I feel I'm ready to punch someone right now. I mean, I'm ready.
It's like we're pumped up. I mean, talk about controlling a crowd. Like, you know, he had them at, you know, his fingertips the entire time. Just comes up, raises his hands. You know, that's all he needs to do.
Twitch chat, I've got just one question for you. Are you ready? No, I'm kidding. All right. So let's get this thing going. I mean, you can see this crowd. They're amped up.
Ready.
Twitch chat's always amped up, always ready to go. So many poggers. No one will see that I'm talking to the analyst desk over here. Guys, where do we begin on this one? Because, I mean, honestly, both teams have a pretty solid argument for why they could win this. So perhaps we try to lock it down a little bit and make some of those points.
Yeah, so to start off with Tyloo, one of the great things that's going their way is that their individuals are shining. Obviously, they do have the teamwork in place as well, but Bentet so far best best rating out of anyone in this tournament. And just, joining him shortly behind is somebody sitting at 2 players in the top 3. And not only that, you've got Execute following, you know, right behind them. They have 3 of their most core, you know, of their core players, you know, pretty much performing at peak performance at this point, and that's what you need going into the finals. I had big question marks for Captain Mole going into this tournament, obviously with his injury and whatnot, but he's performing as well. So Tyloo looking great going into this.
Pimp, we're going to have these videos come out real shortly, so give me what you got on your end.
I mean, NRG for that matter, it's the same sentiment. We have Cirque playing well, we have Nate playing well, we have even Fuckley, like this utility player, this bomb side anchor player playing well for NRG. So it feels like all the players that we're going to see in the server right now is actually hitting their form right now. So in general, I think we're just going to have an explosive game where both teams can go toe-to-toe with each other. Obviously, the big man Cirque going up against Surgery, that's going to be the key duel in this one. I think both these players have played a great tournament so far, and I think Cirque has the higher level normally, but we're going to see whatever that's going to be outlined in this matchup. That's going to be the key matchup between the two teams right here.
Well, it will come down to these map vetoes. Again, where this is a best of 3 to claim this Intel Extreme Masters title. It could be 3 maps. It could be 2 maps. UO, E, and O, one might say.
No surprises in seeing Nuke and Dust 2 being removed. Overpass, Mirage, the 2 first maps, 2 of their comfort picks for both of them. We did say that Tyloo, they didn't pick Mirage against VP, and that was a little bit surprising. They did end up losing their own map pick in that series, so good to see they're back to Mirage. That's where the strength is. That's where they're one of the best teams in the entire world. That's where I'm going to see NRG having a tough time on that one, Halvor.
Yeah, and as for the third map, you're looking for teams to be, you know, as comfortable as possible going into this. Both teams like playing Inferno. I don't see Tyloo letting through Train in this kind of scenario. We saw what NRG did to Gambit, and Gambit was enough of a task for Tyloo going into this in the, you know, in their previous matchup as well. So them videoing it out Inferno, letting it go to Inferno, videoing out Train, letting it go to Inferno. I think that's a good choice for both sides, really. I think this is 100% the best map pool we could have gotten for a grand finals.
Well, we do have our map choices. It's going to be Overpass, Mirage, followed by a little bit of Inferno. And we could talk about win conditions all day. But what are some things that are going to slow down either side of this train?
Well, I mean, for Tyloo, this is something we've seen with any team that goes up against Energy on Overpass. They're going to have a real struggle actually getting onto bomb sites. Actually, just getting a bomb plant versus Energy on this map is extremely hard. That AD defense of Cirque and Fugly is almost impenetrable. You have to use so much utility to just even get close. Like, in order to get restroom control, you're pretty much expending 90% of what you have. So whatever execute you have, if you haven't found early picks, at that point, you're going to have issues actually just making it forward. Same thing goes for the B-bomb side. I think Daps has been playing really well so far in this tournament, and he also has Ethan, who always has that extra level within him to basically hold down a bomb site on his own. Tyloo are going to have such a difficult task at actually just being able to deal with Energy's Overpass in general.
They're going to have to rattle them out. They're going to have to come up with something new we haven't seen before. And that's one of the things that the Chinese scene and the Asian scene can do in this scenario. You know, we often talk about it like when you play in Europe, you play against NA guys. It's sort of like the same play style. They're kind of adopting that in NA. Like, we bring up a lot of European players to NA in order to educate them and get them better, basically. Yeah. That's how it works, Trace. That's how you do it.
Work.
Anyway, we don't do that with Asia yet, right? So they have their own style of play, and that's something that can rattle you out sometimes when you play an Asian team, because you don't exactly know what to expect. You don't really understand the rotation. You don't understand the decision-making sometimes, and that can rattle you out a little bit. And that's what Tyloo needs to do. They need to play their own game. They can't try to play the structured, the slow game. They need to be on. They need to be hitting it hard. They need to be aggressive in order to rattle out Energy on Overpass. Otherwise, they stand no chance at all.
Well, you talk about the energy. There's a hell of a lot of energy in this place. This crowd is electrifying. Now, with that said, Energy, a lot of these players can no longer be considered the rookie season, so to say. But will it play into a factor here, this crowd standing behind this Tyloo team?
I think it actually might, because, I mean, even obviously the minors play without a crowd, but just the fact that them being labeled as favorites going into that qualifier weighed on them pretty heavily. Now, I would still say they are labeled by most as a favorite going into this grand finals. Now you add the addition of a crowd that's not going to be exactly favorable to you. They're going to be very much rooting for Tyloo, which makes sense. So you have just the initial pressure of playing as a favorite, which is a very different kind of game in itself from playing it as an underdog, and then the crowd working against you at any given time. And these guys are loud enough for you to just feel the rumblings in your chairs as you're sitting out there on the stage. I think that could be an issue for Energy, so they need to make sure that if they get off to a rough start, not get flustered. If you have to, take a lot of timeouts early on. Just make sure that you settle your nerves and make sure you follow whatever game plan you've drawn up for this map. I think the first map for them in many senses is going to be extremely vital, because if they get off to a rocky start on Overpass, which has been such a solid pick for them, that could bleed into the rest of the series.
And I think that's a key point to make, as you just said, using the overtime wisely. You know, Amapit is not normally a guy that is necessarily known for taking a lot of timeouts. He does it when he feels it needed, right? But as you said, sometimes you just need to take a timeout, calm down, talk about what happened, what's going to happen in the next round, instead of just playing the flow. In that sense, I said it, you know, Tyloo needs to come out aggressively, they need to come out fast, and if you want to stop that, take some timeouts, slow down the game, and make sure to talk about it, because as you said, it is still a young team energy. They are the favorites going into this one. They are by far the better team if you look overall player by player. But if you don't stand for the pressure, you're gonna win it.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, they say, which has absolutely no relevance to this whatsoever.
Or you, for that matter.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Jacob, you'll be here for at least the rest of the day, and then that might be the last time anyone's ever heard from you. Now, let's talk about some things that could go down here on Overpass. Perhaps the AWP side of things. Now, is that going to have a big impact for either of these teams?
I mean, we outlined the duel. I feel Zerg against Surturate is going to be the biggest duel in this game, especially on Overpass. And that's because Zerg is such a great Overpass player in general. I've never seen a guy dominate a map that much with the AWP. He feels so comfortable in all the positions he's in. He's playing the A side together with Fuckley, as you said, and it feels like Fuckley is doing everything he can to make it easy for him. He's flashing for him, he's taking all the confident peak for him, and he has the freedom to do whatever he wants because he knows Fuckley is going to stand behind on the bomb side and close it down whenever it's needed for, right? So he has that confidence, is not only himself, but also his teammates, and that's a big thing going into a map like this. Not only do you believe in yourself, but you also believe in the guy behind you. So if you do mess up, if you do make a bad play or something like that, he still knows he has the team to carry up for that.
Yeah, and he's also not only, you know, as I mentioned, he's comfortable on the entire map. He's just a very good Overpass player, not just a good A player. So you'll see him probably, you know, multiple times during this matchup switch around as to where he actually opts to go aggressive. He'll easily take monster peaks and so on the CT side of things. And on the side of Tyloo for Excurate, I think one of the most important things for them is obviously not to play scared. You need to get up in their grill. Even though there is a pretty, you know, set way of playing for energy that's not necessarily, you know, crazy aggressive or anything like that, you need to have guys like somebody, DD, and Excurate actually being up in their faces to really disrupt what's going on the side of energy.
Guys, I've just gotten the word that we're 1 minute away from kicking this off. Now, with that said, let's get some predictions from you guys, and let's get right to the point on it.
I'm going to decide, at least for Overpass, that's going Energy's way.
I'm going to go the full way. Overpass is going to go for Energy, no doubt. Tyloo is going to win Mirage. We're going to have Inferno as the third deciding map. It's going to be double OT. Energy ends up as the winning team.
Easy.
Damn.
Damn.
Put a lot of stock in that one, did you, Jacob? I mean, I guess it could go all 3 maps. This could have that potential as a series, so to say, because both these teams playing about on par with each other right now. And in fact, I'm going to have to ask you at home, the viewer, to get involved on social media using hashtag IEM. Tell me who you think is going to win, or just tell Pimp and Vedetta how you really feel about them. That's completely okay, too. It's almost time to jump into this game, and I can't think of a better duo to make this happen. We've got one Canadian, we've got one Australian. Neither one have seemingly lost their way, but only have lost their minds thus far. However, they are the most qualified to make this happen. With that, there's a $125K payout for first place and a reality check for second. Boys, let's get it on with this grand final, Tyloo versus Energy.
It is a scary thought, Trace, that we are, in fact, the most qualified to bring you this final, but here we are nonetheless. Tyloo versus NRG, and we start on Overpass. We start with the home team on the defense first.
Yeah, getting to pick the side here on NRG's map choice. Opting for some aggression over towards Underpass. 3 members scuttling down there, and Fuggly is the man to deal with that. He'll be pushing up nice and slowly with 1 in tow of Breezy just behind, but 3 CTs in such a close corridor here. They're not expecting this. There's no information for their A players at all, and they don't need it because it will be the play. And Fuggly's going to take damage. They're not going to check this corner. They're not going to expect so many players to pop on out. DD opens the account here. First kill on the board. And the second for Excurate as the B bomb side is where they want to run into. But all of the players for Tyloo are over here now in the sewer, and they know that. They're going straight to A. This is a great mid-round call by NRG, running for a bit of a loop.
Yeah, reverse sides. CTs go back through connector. They have to take over bathrooms. It's almost like we're watching them on the terrorist approach trying to take the site, but instead bomb will be planted safe side of the box by Daps. That gives them the stairs at both bank and the dumpster to work with. Daps trying to get toward long, quickly realizes going down. They've all come from that direction. It is beneficial to his 2 teammates, but so too would him being alive, because now they've got to work off this and trade it at 2 versus 4. Each needing a kill, and somebody's already on the defuse. He's got the kit. Cirque finds a kill. He finds 2, in fact, but that's not nearly enough, given that the round is already gone.
I really like that approach by Tyloo here. Now, this is a map that they struggle on. They don't really play. They definitely don't pick. The last time this 5-man roster played it was IEM Sydney 2018, where they beat Cloud9 16-14, I believe. And the fact that they take such a huge gamble on the pistol round to stack over 3 players towards the underpass and 2 over towards Suo is a great gamble. I think they definitely need to take those kind of risks, and the pistol rounds is the place to do it. When we get to that first gun round, I hope we see more similar scenes, more plays along that kind of vein, because this is a great way to rattle NRG. You can really play outside of your shell. This is NRG's comfort pick in a way. If you can make them feel a little bit flustered early on a grand final stage with a lot on the line where they are, on paper, definitely the favorite. It's a good way to make these younger guys, these up-and-comers from the North American region, feel not so at home. It's going to be the A play. They have just a couple of pistol upgrades, so no armor or grenades behind to help. And Execute with the scout, going to tag up, take a kill, throw a flash and pop on back. The rotation will come in. Bentet's there. Somebody will be on the scene very shortly. Doesn't look like they want to commit into this one. Circle will be going for some bathroom control, and the bomb on Daps' back will be heading back over towards the B bomb site.
When was the last time you saw 4 FAMASas and a scout? That's like literally the most secondary buy in its essence.
Yeah, so I suppose the prep here in a lot of ways is so when we do get to that first gun round, which will be next round because of only the pistol upgrade here, NRG will be able to get AKs or Galils in the next, that you want to have rifles if you're Tyloo. And I think if we take note, just quickly, DD had 2 kills last round, and that was with the CZ2, and they had a $100 kill bonus, meaning he couldn't invest into the M4. Execute with 1, and he's the long distance player. But hold up, this got quite interesting with 2 big kills opening up onto the B bomb site here for NRG. They should be able to get the bomb down, and that's a huge round.
Only to plants, so it'll be 2 straight bomb plants for NRG, as you mentioned, meaning they'll have lots of money in the next round. Like the armor on Fugly as well. He's obviously saved enough to be ready to buy. He'll go down Cirque, but Fugly still has the sight. 2 players left. Damage onto Execute. He knows one's dropped in. He knows the situation as to which side he's going to come from, and he suddenly finds himself in a one-on-one with Bintet, but misread the fact as he was fighting the previous player that Bintet had already dropped in, because otherwise he could have played that around the boards quite easily.
I thought we were going to have another repeat of where we left off with that Virtus Pro map, back and forth rounds that teams should never be losing, just going down the drain, and Tyloo by the skin of their teeth there. Bintet getting the defuse, the star, the highest rated player in the whole tournament. Putting that one on the board, putting that one in the bank, and raising the account of Tyloo early here. This is where they have to reinvest. So because they lost so many guns, there is a bit of a drama if you are on the likes of Tyloo. See, weapons are going to have to get...
Well, now you have to reinvest, but you know as well, they've
got
went for
another
rifles,
plan.
and they've got exactly 2 plants. They're going to have AKs themselves. This is back against the wall in some ways already for Tyloo. Economically, obviously, early in not only the map, but very early in the series.
It's another gamble again, having 4 players leaning over towards that B bomb site at the start of the round. If you look towards the top left of your screen on the mini-map, you can see 4 players clustered over there, with Execute the only guy getting information on that A bomb site, and it's a great read, it's a great call. That does appear to be where most aggro will be taken early from NRG. Just want to grab that sewer control, and the reason that Connector and sewer are so important, Matt, is it allows you to late round fake. It gives you that avenue to go between the bomb sites very quickly, and you know, put the CTs for a bit of a spin, and when the utility is low, we did note that with Tyloo, this does play quite a large factor. They're not able to throw those late Molotovs unless they'd be quite stingy with their nades early, and that appears to be the case because Execute, Somebody, and Bentet still have 3 nades in hand that are able to slow down an attack onto either bomb site. Molotovs and smokes are perfect for that.
Yeah, in a class of their own, and I guess defensive utility, we could call them.
Imagine if we had a stat for that.
Cool.
We're going too deep down the rabbit hole, aren't we?
Well, depends. Depends on the audience, I suppose. Daps starts to cover off the bathrooms. He's the one with the bomb, interestingly enough, but he'll be the first to swing. So if he goes down, that bomb stays in the open, specifically given his trajectory when he gets shot. It would continue with momentum to fly forward. They are going to go anyway. He's already at the stairs, jumps up, smoke down. He's going to commit to the plants early. No gap in that smoke. He'll be covered off, but no one really fighting forward to try and cover him off and get away with it. It'll be a retake and a lineup. Bintet with 2. Cirque and Ethan pull it back, but look at Bintet go a third for him. He's very low. In fact, both are DD with 19, Bintet with 1, and 100 HP for both Cirque and Breezy, but DD finds one of the 2, making this entirely possible if they can find the trade. Bathroom, the obvious position. He's already tagged through the wall. That will discourage him from going for the peak. Smoke down. He wants to find the lineup first before they get on it. Single bullets to spray through would do it, but Bintet with 4 kills on 1 HP, and Tyloo will take the round.
really thought that was smart play there from Cirque, dropping that smoke, expecting them to tap the defuse, thinking he would rotate around and he could just spam through and pick up a kill while they're on low HP. But they knew the danger. They knew the fact that if they were to give them a free kill, they could both drop. And at that point, Cirque grabbing an easy 1-on-2 situation. Interesting to note, when you are attacking that late onto the bomb site and Daps is the first man that you see, that bomb shows up on the radar. That rotation's instantly coming in. 25 seconds left on the clock when I think they finished or at least got stuck into that attack. So Tyloo automatically knew they could rotate in. Interestingly enough to note, NRG with all the damage that they've been able to put in over the last few rounds is opting to buy again. So it's going to be a bit of a mangled situation with the Galil, UMP, AK on the board so far. Fugly can get an AK with a little bit of utility, and same as Cirque, but if there is a strat that Daps wants to call, if there's a set piece, maybe they'll have to take a few sacrifices by lesser weaponry, but that's not the case. They want the firepower over the utility. And Xcurid is only able to grab a scout. Somebody on the FAMAS. Have seen a lot of those early, as you noted. That's unusual. We don't tend to see so many FAMASes in modern day meta of Counter-Strike. This looks like it's going to be the default spread. Breezy over towards the playground. Cirque at the T stairs. Two players going through connector to grab control. Ethan babysitting the backyard of B, just making sure nobody can take too much territory. And standard things over on the Tyloo side. No real aggression. They've already absconded toilet control. They're not even spotting deep long. They're just playing very reserved from the bomb site. They don't want to get overrun, assuming pistols would come in. You would be thinking an eco is most likely. And you don't want to play too up close and personal against the pistols, but it will be a relatively quick A play.
So Bintet behind boxes. Shot back from the AK, manages to find Cirque, but he loses Xcurid in the process, and Daps, taking no prisoners, runs immediately around the default box, finds the headshot with the UMP. That allows Ethan and Fugly to cover off toward the dumpster. They do that twice, in fact, by getting Captain Mo. He finds only one kill, and that therefore means, do the math, we've got more NRG players left at the end of the round. It's their first 3-1.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about in terms of keeping pressure on the economy, and they've done exactly that. That pistol upgrade round with so many kills and the bomb plant, and then the 2v1 with Cirque, and then once again, the force buy into the round win has forced Tyloo onto an eco. Captain Mo will be grabbing a defuse kit. Oh, they're going for the force buy. They don't want to give this one up without too much of a fight. They want to stay in it. They want to stay aggressive. They want to stay hungry as 5 CZs are on the board. Not the easiest of maps to use them on, especially with the early long-range duels that are possible, but two players will be going down into the underpass, and Fugly is sitting all the way back, so don't have to worry about dueling him too early.
Daps goes out toward long. A single win. And the gun's gone for Tyloo. Daps will, in fact, take his approach elsewhere, so he doesn't want to walk all the way around toward the rocks with just the SMG to work with. Self-flash. Not really a time for that, but they'll get a second one to allow him further. Makes a lot of noise running toward Bintet. Obviously, being on the MAC-10, they want to send him first.
Yeah, the only problem I see here, Matt, as we get closer to this potential duel between the two, is unless they have a protocol in place of what they're going to happen if Daps falls, then they can just get picked apart one at a time, and a lot of territory can be taken from Tyloo. Xcurid also about to get into a duel from the underpass, but Flash comes in, he pushes out, and he'll go down. So now, where's the reaction? How do they go? Do they try and chase down Bintet? And if they do, he has head armor.
Fugly, though, does get the shot on him with the AK, so both of them prevailing in their duels. The MAC-10 drop will not amount to much, and Breezy has to just watch off from the party. Toward the stairs, does exactly that. Somebody's down, and Didi and Captain Mo rotate in toward A, but have a large task in front of them, given that they're both on pistols. They nearly get some help. Cirque actually fires through the back of Breezy's head to get the kill, but it's just Mo remaining, although he's got some players that are low. Okay, Ethan gone. He does have to reload a CZ, which takes some time. He's gone. NRG find their second.
Interesting that Bintet opted to go to the MAC-10, knowing that he was versing head-armored players, right? The CZ at that range, even though it's going to take you, all those bullets, that thing fires real quick, and probably better than the MAC-10 in that scenario, but that's the little details. And I'm curious as well, we didn't see Captain Mo pick up a Deagle. We were absolutely blown away by his prowess on that weapon against VP, especially on train, just kept hitting some absolute bangers. But this is where Tyloo, they have to concede. They have to go down to that eco situation. They know that they need to start putting the pennies in the bank account to get up the AWPs, get up all the utility that they need to defend against NRG. Once again, Daps leading the charge. The in-game leader in certain teams, and I was one of those back in my playing days, like to be out in front, so that way you can relay the information as quickly as possible and tell your teammates what to do. Even if you do die, what you've got is enough to make a decision. Whereas if you send someone else in to do the job, they might not do it the way you need them to do it, and they might not relay that information correctly. Whereas this way, you know, it's one of those things, man, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Yeah, except cooking. Because I'll definitely mess that up more than most others.
I tried to cook pasta, man. I couldn't even do that. I boiled over the bloody pot.
Okay, I thought Daps was going to overlook that completely. I know your pain. I can burn water. That's how talented I am with cooking. Ethan, Mac 10, wants to try and clear all angles. Does find somebody, but watch out because unfortunately looking that direction and firing for that long. 2 players peek behind him. It's all for naught. It's all to figure out the information. He gets that by spotting those 2 others, and therefore bomb goes down on B for free. They're confident in doing so. Cirque will hold off toward jungle. Breezy will hold up on catwalk. Been tagged already by a nade that does tremendous damage considering he has no armor. Put him down to 22 in this round. Done in itself.
It's going to be interesting right now because Xhero only has 1,900 in the bank. Obviously, they get that 2,400 loss bonus.
You would want him on the op, though, wouldn't you, the way he's played this event?
Bentat has 3,250, which means he'll probably have to drop the AWP over. Another kill there would have definitely helped the bank account. But yeah, as we're saying, and as we've noted, his proficiency on the AWP, that's been a way that a lot of kills have been happening. He's leading the charge in terms of opening kills to the tournament. He's leading the charge in terms of AWP kills. Obviously, they played quite a lot of rounds when we had all those overtime games against VP, but that still factors in. A couple of other key notes, I guess, looking at Tyloo matching up against NRG. In terms of the trading, Tyloo's leading the tournament, 27%, and then NRG are number 2 at 23%. So it's a little discrepancy there, nothing too huge.
Somebody flashed in. It's aggressive toward the fountain. He'll need support from Bintet. He has that, watching over from exactly this position. The stairs to make sure his backside's not going to be covered in bullets from an AK, namely from Breezy. Daps with a deep flash. Bintet finds one. They now know the setup. Daps reads it, but Bintet trades it. Exactly what they needed out of that situation. Great read from Bintet as well, knowing he'd already won the duel to the right side, needed to get back over and cover the exact fight that Daps wanted to issue. It works out in favor of Tyloo, but now they have to fall back, which leaves a long rotation. Naturally, therefore, NRG read that. Know that it's going to take them some time to get to B, and they'll go for a contact play, trying to clear the 2 players, at the very most, that are in this site, at least according to their anticipation. Smoke's down. Didi wants to get above them. Bomb goes in. Captain Mo finds Ethan. Bomb denied by Didi. Good read, good push, and Excurate with the AWP finds Fugly.
Yeah, denying that plan is very important as we move forward in this half. Right now, NRG have no problems buying. But if they deny these plants, if they stop them from getting those bombs down and they keep obliterating the attack while keeping 3 alive, 3 is the magic number, Tyloo can build that bank while devastating NRGs. It's going to take some time. Doesn't happen quickly. But they did get the AWP up, and now, finally, we have decent enough utility. Last round, they got it done with just the aim and 2 big kills from the Indonesian superstar of Bentat. Now, they're opting for that 4B play again. Tyloo are gambling on the fact that maybe a pace change comes out from NRG early and they try contact, they try an explosion onto that B bomb site. It's not to be the case. Maybe if the buy was lower, maybe if you weren't working with so much utility, I think that might have been an appropriate call, but it's just going to be that default spread. Underpass control, sewer control, Breezy babysitting A, making sure no one can push, get too aggressive, get too much information. But a lot of aggression here from Cirque. He pushes all the way up to sandbags. Will get spotted out. And the monster push from Captain Mo's gone undetected. He's going to grab one, trade it out immediately. The 4v4 right now. Let's see if Tyloo opt to re-aggress, because we know that the number advantage tends to go in the favor of the Ts. They're able to spread that CT defense quite thin. And from there, isolate and find more gaps, find more duels where they have a number advantage. If they collapse on a bomb site, they can give themselves a 4v2 duel, and that means multi-kills have to come in from the Tyloo defenders if they want a chance. Here we go. It's going to be the B hit. Smokes and flashes will come in. This is just looking like a double pump. They want to bait out any residual utility of Tyloo.
Flash timing from Didi is important. The problem is that they can't peek immediately toward Monster. Somebody has to hold a catwalk, so all it really does is slow them down for a second. Somebody, that's good enough. He'll go around, jumping. Reminds me of my COD 4 days, the way he jumps and guns as Setch, but a good hold from NRG to spot him and take him down immediately, and Excurate not quite ready for Cirque to peek. He knew exactly the angle he wanted, and it's NRG tying us back up on 4.
4 big kills from Cirque. Curious decision-making from somebody. We know he's a very aggressive player. We know he likes to get in the face. We know he likes to play these disruptive positions, but after getting 1 and his teammate fell, he needed to make a multi-kill there. Wanted to throw a spanner in the works, but the only spanner that's been thrown is that for Tai Lu, as now they have to opt for another pistol upgrade. Mo will get on that Deagle. See if he can hit some of those absolutely blistering shots he was hitting earlier. DD upgraded into Kevlar and a CZ, P250 in the hands of Excurate, and then Bentet and somebody are just left on the USPs. Look, we've seen some crazy rounds happen this tournament, especially with Tai Lu in the server, so I'm not going to count them out of anything. And they do want to put a bit of pressure on the B babysitter of Ethan here. And they're going to take sewer control. It's caught with a bad timing. He could lose his head, but very cautiously will drop all the way back. And I think he had the perfect timing for that. So right now, NRG just want to go about this round, crossing their T's, dotting their I's, making sure they don't run into any stacks, making sure they use their weaponry advantage. It's a very slow approach, methodical, what you expect on a map like Overpass. One of the more strategic that we have left in the pool.
Yep. Map I was not at all a fan of when it first came out. They did go through a number of iterations.
Huge amount of changes, really. Do you know the thing, Matt? I never played a competitive match on the original Overpass because we just banned it in Australia. It's like,
was not great.
We're not even going to touch this.
Connector from Long went straight to front bathroom. For a while, it was both. There was just a square there that kind of differentiated between the two. It's used to go straight here. This hallway, good hold from DD. CZ, Cirque gets him in response, but that's 2 kills. As Cirque now goes to the AWP, this suddenly becomes possible for Tai Lu, and they're going to rotate over, knowing the situation with 27 seconds. There's time enough to get there. They also had the information because Captain Mo was pushed so far forward and gets in behind the connector. Breezy and Daps, though, seem to control things, at least for now. Bintet locked off toward jungle. Daps makes his presence known, and Breezy, after planting the bomb, gets in position to find him. Now they just have to anticipate Mo's arrival. No armor, aim, punch a factor. AK in hand, he may have spotted him, does look for the headshot, needs to find the headshot before in turn being spotted, and didn't know that Daps was at the same position or roughly thereabout.
It looked like Tai Lu had a lot of reluctancy to fight together as the B attack finally came in. Players were holding in positions where they could have swung and dueled together and made it a little bit more difficult, but it just felt one at a time was too easy for those AK-47s to pick up the kills. Also there, Ben said at the end, if he just had lived a little longer, just pestered maybe a little bit more, would have allowed Captain Mo to come on the flank and would have given him a chance to not be isolated in that scenario. When there's one player left, the pressure kind of drops a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot of choke points for him to be coming from, but process of elimination. And they make the kill. Put another round on the board. We're looking at 5 for NRG, 4 for Tai Lu. It is NRG's pack.
Yes,
pack
exactly
pick.
That. Map pick, yep.
Map pick.
With Mirage coming up next, picked by Tai Lu, remember. Both of these teams have never won an IEM tournament. For NRG as a new organization, that might be less surprising. For Tai Lu, they've been in a final 8 years ago and now find themselves here again. That was also an interesting tournament in 2010 because the Na'Vi match against Fnatic actually was played out over the course of 2 days due to the China Joy rules of having to be out of here at a very set time at the end of the day. And there was actually 2 Tai Lu teams that played off in the other semifinals, so there was guaranteed to be a Tai Lu in the final based on the fact that they had ties in the group stages. Na'Vi finished second with a 1-win and 2-tie record. Fugly, meanwhile, out past Fountain, will work toward the bathrooms. Smokes go down both in front of the main door and in front of the connection to the bathroom. So they'll wrap back through to sewers. Excurate is forward, and an uncharacteristic miss for him on the AWP. In fact, I take that back. It was not a miss. He hit Breezy. It just wasn't a killing blow. Daps tries to make direct contact, runs through smoke, bit brave. Gives them some room to work with, though, given that they have that information as to where they were on Catwalk. Toward Monster, they'll work in. As Fugly wants to go over top. Molotov down, knows they're punched up toward the pit. Can't get the second, but Ethan following in the same position. Bintek, good response. What a quick reaction from Cirque because bomb went down. Bintek could have won the round. They're alone, and somebody will.
The flick there, I thought Cirque was on. He's been feeling it early. Just to note, people thinking, oh, that kill, Daps ran in on his own. Daps is the in-game leader. I know from an in-game leader perspective, when you make that opening kill that early in a round on a map like Overpass, you make a call. Now, I don't know what they've named it within their team. throughout Australia, throughout the teams I played in, we had two styles, Matt. When you made that opening kill as the in-game leader, you either said American, which means get stuck in, just run on in, boys, we're going in. Or Euro, funnily enough, means slow it down and play it smart. Daps just ran in, which means he made the call to commit onto that B bomb site. You could see how delayed the other players were to get on there with him. He made the kill came in, he immediately made the call, but it takes a minute or two because that wasn't the original strategy. That wasn't the original plan. They got lucky with that opening kill, and he's made a mid-round decision, a mid-round call. It needs to be committed on as quickly as possible. But that's a big round for Tyloo, but the reset potential is there. That's the biggest issue for them right now.
Absolutely. Excurate goes back onto an AWP. These trades were hairy. That's a scary thought, too, because he's firing actually through the cement.
Yeah.
Imagine that deterred the damage just enough to allow the op to get the shot.
He's on fire, man. 15 kills right now. Cirque is lighting it up.
Not far behind. Breezy's on 10. Bintet leads the way for Tyloo. Guam intentionally dropped into the abyss, according to the minimap, but it's back toward T-spawn. And they'll hold up very passively on the NRG side, knowing well that, as you said, this is a potential reset round. So let's play it as methodically as we can. The boost gets good for one, but Daps immediately coming back out is able to trade perfect headshot from the AK-47 and trades favor the offense. This is why they went slow. They wanted to figure out the information, dissect it, take them down, and limit them early because they know, first off, they don't have much money now, but they definitely won't in the next round. Excurate, last line of defense in B. AWP finds one, knows they're inside of the site. Whoa, what a reaction to find Cirque. Bintet swings in. What a round. Excurate, ballsy, but makes it work.
It's a huge kill, and like you said, ballsy. For an AWP player to get in close when he knows how far away his support is, do or die in that situation, a really big shot, a pressure shot to make in a pressure environment. Now, I like the decision-making from NRG to go for the strat, which I assume they were trying to build in the previous, and run it again. It almost worked. It's a very close round. The pressure is still there. It's still applied on Tyloo's economy, and you can see that by the buy. The FAMAS coming out. That's where the decision-making being used right now in this pause is very important. Do NRG continue to apply the pressure? Do they go for a force buy of their own? It looks like it's just going to be a pistol upgrade. Ethan's got a P250. Fugly's now buying in as well. It may even just be P250s across the board, with Cirque the only one not investing due to the fact he is the AWPer, wants to get the big green up. But no flashes, which means they need to do what they did on the second round of the game, which was find some miraculous kills, collapse onto that B bomb site. They can do the same. They can do it anywhere on the map. And it feels that A is going to be the players. 3 players through connector, 2 over towards the playground. A lot of pressure is going to be on Excurate in a minute. He needs to skip out.
Still finds one, though, doesn't he? And Bintet with the assist, 2 other kills, holds off the front side of bathrooms. Ethan and Daps with their pistols will try and run down, and Bintet sets and ready. Remember, he's already had 1 4-kill round. He's now sitting with 2.5 if you want to include the assist, but 2 kills. A number of multi-kill rounds for Bintet. He knows they're on the other side of the smoke. He can certainly hear it. He'll go back, turn, and get both. Again, another 4 kills. Good positioning, good patience as well inside of that smoke, not to run through and give away an M4.
Yeah, look. The fundamentalist in me says that's a risk, that's unnecessary. You don't need to be making a play like that against pistols, giving away another gun. They've already got the AWP. Let's try not to give them an M4 as well to work with. But if it works, it works, and Bintet leads the way now. Top fragger in the server. Tyloo, we're going to have to steady here. This is the kind of map we're looking at 10-5, 11-4 halves.
Yep. NRG's done a tremendous job to find those 5 rounds early. I'm sure they want more, given it is their map choice. It'll be a lot of pressure to play against if Tyloo take the first map. When it is their pick, against this crowd especially, Fugly down towards sewers already, has Daps to go with him.
It feels like Tyloo won the war of attrition over towards the B site, pushing them away with the stack, and they're doing it again. They're playing 4 men over towards the B bomb site. They really want to have numbers over there. This is something they must have identified, something that they've realized NRG likes to hit the B side.
Ooh, that's ballsy. Somebody spotted one, therefore knew he was spotted in turn, and rather than falling back, they readdress. I don't think they needed to do that. I think they could have played off the information. They try to go out and get aggressive, and Didi will not relent. He goes on the other side, finds Ethan. They know they've tagged them up. They're going to force them back to A on this alone. They have to rotate back. Captain Mo has to get to Bintet sooner, but the problem is as well that Cirque with bomb is way back toward T-spawn. And Daps may have read this. He may have realized immediately that they are going to push back around. DD's got to be careful because he's done a good job to pull it back. One direction, somehow he gets the kill. That should have been Cirque all day long. Bintet trades off Daps, but thankfully, for the sake of NRG, the bomb is recovered. If Breezy wasn't there to trade that, they had a huge problem.
Back in transition to B now. Execute's got that in time for damage control. Problem is, if Fugly swings at the same time as Breezy here, it's going to be a very difficult shot for him to hit. Flash comes in, that gets the bomb across into the side. Oh. And now the rotation from Bintet is on its way.
Yeah, he didn't lead off toward window, which sometimes you may do if you anticipate B, so they didn't know exactly where this was going at all. It forces the wait, because Excurate can't peek on his own, and even when Bintet gets there, he is on his own. He gets taken out immediately. It's a 6th round for NRG. Money enough to force absolutely on the Tyloo side. Tough force. 2 of them in full buy conditions, and 3 of them not really.
Yeah, it's a position where they have to force. I agree with you that maybe too much aggression. The desk touched on the fact that they need to be aggressive and they need to disrupt NRG as much as humanly possible.
Times
so
to do it, though.
Exactly. And DD, he is so lucky to get away with that kill on Cirque. That should never happen. When you push and you get information like that, until the bomb is called, until the site is being, you know, swarmed and taken over, you should play to contain. You shouldn't play to be so frag hungry. In that situation, he got very, very lucky with that kill. Now it is a bit of a change up. Still 3 players over towards B, and they really want to contest for sewer control. Bintet in the connector and Excurate with the AWP over towards bathrooms will be smoked off, and Long is where he's going to find himself a duel. Ethan, Breezy, and Cirque coming his way.
Excurate still looking. Can't hit it. He's not on his form that we've seen throughout the whole event so far, and gets caught running. Nothing he can do in that position. Didn't elect to turn around and try and defend himself. Thought maybe he could get away. That's proven wrong, as they go down 2 men as well, losing Bintet. So the impressive AWP of Excurate somewhat absent. And Bintet, who has been absolutely gone, which is a problem now for Tyloo.
Now, just to note, NRG did not have sewer control. They have connector control, but that will make them hesitant to rotate back through sewer to B. As you can see on the map right now, all 4 members are posturing towards this A bomb site. Tyloo don't know that. The attack comes in. 2 members on the side. The third not far away. Swinging out with 2 big kills from somebody there. That might be enough.
Good shot back from Fugly, however. His second not to be outdone, and now it's on DD to try to get back to the site. Doesn't want to overcommit inside of the smoke, and Bomb is outside, just recovered now. Not spotted when he gets in. Getting to truck now actually could catch them off because Fugly's not ready for it. He anticipated that was clear. Bomb does get committed to, and that allows Cirque somehow to get away because he easily could have been caught by DD. And he peeked out slightly sooner. Cirque's on an AWP. He's forced out by the Molotov. DD's not aware of it. Oh, what a shot! That reaction from his perspective must have been lightning to see him above the van.
How does he hit that? The kid's on fire today. He started real strong, and hitting that shot, he got tickled with the Molotov. It looked like DD heard it. It looked like he heard the ticks away. So at that point, he realized he must be playing around the bomb box. We're going to see it here. Was Bintet not making a kill that he maybe should have? Somebody did really well there. He wants to be so aggressive. Once you note that, here it is. Here's the shot, Matt. Oh, felt like he had all the time in the world there. I know it was in slow-mo, but still felt like he had all the time in the world. Last round of the half, 7-7. Let's see who takes the lead going into the second. Tyloo scrapped together a buy. UMP's out once again. Deagle's on the board. Haven't seen any shots from them just yet. And Bintet on that CZ 75. So NRG have done fantastic in this first half. They don't look like they've been sweating too much. The things that have worked for Tyloo have been gambles. They've been stacks. They've been risks.
Excurate. Having the last round slip away despite being in contention, left to just a Deagle. And he'll try to hold off from the park side. Cirque, meanwhile, still waiting to see if he'll reappear. He'll watch it with the wand. Bintet sees the shadow. Daps doesn't really care. Walks around and checks it.
That's a really potential huge, that's a missed flash.
Yep.
Yeah, the nerves of Tyloo are showing, especially in duels that they'd normally be making. Flashbang getting missed. We don't want to see that kind of stuff on this grand final stage.
Somebody with 1 plus the assist. Ethan, great shot to DD. No need for him to really slide out from the box. Anticipates the headshot given. Oh, hang on. The fact that he saw the shadow, it nearly caught him out, but now he's got the AWP Execute. If there's ever a time to show up with that weapon, it's here and now. 19 seconds. They're going to run this to B. They have to plant almost immediately on arrival. They have about 8 seconds when they get in the site, and Captain Mo can easily hold them off. The problem is he only has the Deagle. He peeked early. I was going to say, fair enough, because Excurit's got one shot already. Spotted the head, but couldn't get the shot back. Ethan returning it, manages to get on the plant with 4 seconds. That's exactly the time you have to be on the plant. Missed shot. What? It landed, but didn't kill. And now Excurit knows he's hit him, goes to the Deagle, but Ethan knows where he is. Doesn't matter. Pull it back, and Tyloo win the half.
Defuse will come in once again. Some just shaky decision-making there by Tyloo. All Captain Mo had to do was sit, wait. As soon as the bomb got planted, poke your head out, make the kill, you win the round. But more pressure applied. Excurit stepping up, finishing him with the Deagle. Getting 8 rounds on the board for Tyloo. That's going to take us into the second half, and we're going to follow this one up after the break. Stick with us.
Well, it's, as you'd expect, close between these two teams. Tyloo in front of their home crowd do have a slight advantage, but that's coming off a CT side on a map that is CT-sided, and the lead is not that significant. It is 8-7 as they swap over on Overpass. But a discussion between I'm a Pet and the admins. I imagine that's probably communication-based, team speak perhaps. We are getting confirmation there's a headset issue. I imagine during the halftime that was discovered when he was trying to get his input toward them.
Do you think they're the most common issue we have?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think the headset issue, or the team speak, which blows my mind. But look, I agree with the sentiment of, sure, Tyloo, they're in the lead, but they were on the easier side of the map, right? You have to take that into consideration. This is where we're going to see the level of preparedness from these guys. We were going to expect NRG to have a better T-sided strategy-wise. They are more prepped on this map. It's one of their best maps for sure. well drilled. You can see the fundamentals. You can see the decision making was definitely there. But what did Tai Lu have when their default doesn't work, when their set piece doesn't come through? Which individuals are there to make some kills? Because somebody has had some shaky decision making at best. Xcurate not hitting all the shots that we've...
No, come to see this event, come to expect, I suppose.
I didn't think we'd be seeing that. Well, I didn't want to see the dabbing. What I meant was the NRG shirt, but still talking through the mic problems right now, so hopefully we get that fixed any minute.
Lots of static. So here's something interesting. I don't know a lot about sound engineering.
Let's get Ben on the phone.
Well, this is where I'm going with this. So I flew home. Obviously, Ben is Canadian. He lives back in Canada now after being in Germany for quite some time. I flew home from Belo Horizonte with him, from Brazil, all the way to Toronto. Belo to Sao Paulo, anyway, whatever. Point is, I was with him for a good portion of the day, and we were talking about noise-canceling headphones because I just bought a different set, and I was wondering about the technology. And he said it's easy to cancel it out. You basically play a reverse, the opposite wavelength to the ambient noise that you're trying to disclude. That's why peaking noises like people yelling and stuff are harder to cancel, because they're not predicted and not read by the program. But he said the hardest thing, and what they've been trying to do, and the reason I bring this up is because DAP said lots of static in their mic, is they've been trying to actively create noise-canceling microphones, meaning that it'll cancel that same ambient noise, but pick up the voices coming through by the same principle, which is a lot harder to do because obviously you cut out part of the input.
Sure.
So it's actually super cool. I don't know all the science behind it, but like if they pull that off, that's really cool, because then it takes out the problem of a player holding open his mic and getting crowd noise and caster noise, etc.
You have to be calibrated to all the voices, but the voice right now leading the charge is Captain Mo and Bentech going up the connector stairs here, getting information, making sure the CTs don't have any of their own. Breezy played aggressive early towards Fountain and spotted one, and that was enough to drop him all the way back to long. Just spotted the top of the head there, did Bentech, and through the wood does a tickle of damage. Puts Ethan down to 89, but it will be the B hit. They have the utility to do this. This smoke will be going off towards Heaven. There's a Molotov as well. That's usually thrown over towards the barrel's position. It will. Pushes Fugly back, and that leaves pressure on Ethan, who also makes the wise decision to drop back and play behind the smoke while it's come in. The T's push in with the Glocks. They get nice and close, catching Ethan off guard. He'll go down, and the B-bomb site open for business.
Fugly still holding from jungle, has Cirque on the opposing side, but he can't get out, trying to spam through the boards, and rightfully so. Somebody's on the other side of it, and very, very low on HP. He's only got 6. In fact, there's Bintet still watching the flank. Breezy in front, tagged up. He knows it. He could hear it. He tries to find the fight. He'll just hold the door. That's all he has to do at this point, but that's not easily done. What a shot from Breezy, because not only that, Fugly gets TD in the sight. Captain Mo's got to swing back. Retake's pretty much done. Somebody has nowhere to go. He's the low HP player, panicking and spraying, even against Breezy, who's low enough on his own. And again, the defuse comes through before the kills commence. Conclude.
Look, just some real questionable decision-making by Tai Lu to throw themselves into duels. It was clear that Mo was between a rock and a hard place there. He's either going to have to take the fight with the guys on the bomb site or finish off the squeaky door player, right, before getting onto that. But you would have taken the 1v1, and then you could have given yourself room to move. And he's run in, he's dropped. It's not his fault by any means. It's just one of the key duels which we did see go down, and right now they will opt to upgrade 4 Deagles. Flashbang on somebody, and Bentet just keeping the Glock. Quite interesting there. Flash will come out, keep them all at bay, which also means that they didn't get all of the information that they might have wanted because they weren't in the open. So maybe spotted 1 or 2 players there, but definitely not all 5, as now the caravan of attack moseys on up through the bathrooms and the banana. The Deagles are deadly at this range. 1 bullet's all it's going to take to the head of Fugly here to drop him. He knows it.
Cirque swinging out does get DD. Fugly avoids the flash. Gives himself more than enough time to reset and get his aim ready when the approach comes in. Takes down 2 so far, runs out of ammo. Ethan is there to make sure Bintech can't do any damage in return. Keep in mind this will now be 2 pistol rounds for NRG and 2 subsequent anti-ecos in success. They got 3 in a row, all on defuses, mind you, but there was an early buy. All on defuses in the first half.
I question the Deagle upgrade going into a first gun round, because as you can probably see in a second, Captain Mo does have an AK, but the problem is he doesn't have head armor. Xcurate only has a scout, and utility-wise, there's only 2 smokes and 4 flashes on the board. That's not really enough to pull out
anything crazy.
Yeah, you're just going to have to rely on getting kills and trades.
There's tons of utility on the reverse side of things as well. I correct myself. I said 2 pistols for Tyler. I meant to say 2 pistols for the CT side. Right, but there's different conditions that apply given that we've got an early buy again this time versus 2 diffuses. There's slightly less money, as you pointed out with the utility.
Yeah. So they did a lot of damage early, and that's enough to keep NRG's aggression honest. It has drawn a rotation over towards the A bomb side as well. But Tyler are just opting to find kills here, and somebody, we know how aggressive he is. He isn't able to get the kill, but DD will finish it off, and pushing on in.
We've lost track of Fugly, though.
Yeah.
Execute's got to check it.
Oh.
All red.
Nice.
All struck as well. Gets the M4. Would rather have that than the scout. Somebody was smart to run in the bathrooms and not overcommit to the duel either, because that leaves
there we go.
It's 2. They overrun the site. Ethan's got to run away and try and save the gun.
Look how hungry he is, Matt. The bloodlust continues through the smoke. This is what we need to see. Somebody needs to come alive. Relatively quiet in the first half. It's a huge round to come alive. Just a note, the fact that so many players from NRG did stay alive in the previous rounds, or the previous round, means that it should be just enough money to go for a buy. Ethan will probably be able to drop this Famous and upgrade into something else. Cirque should have enough money on the board to get a decent buy in his hands. Daps is the only one in the danger zone. Breezy's kind of there, but the CT side, you can get close range angles and use the UMP. So many weapons now in Counter-Strike that can be applied as long as you have, I guess, the right plan, the right teammates in place. Anything can work nowadays.
Not far off. It seems that way. It seems like everyone's all over the place sometimes. Then it seems like anyone's on point in others. 9-9. Tyloo discuss how their approach will go. They've got the advantage given that there's only that one FAMAS saved over. You mentioned the bloodlust, but there's no need to have overcommitted in that last round given that they're still trying to build up their own economy and they'll want to keep that in the best possible condition given that this isn't their map choice, given that arguably they are still, despite it's 9-9, playing from behind given the conditions of the map.
Oh, wow. We missed that. They just did the boosting connector, which sees through to water. Now, definitely not used all the time. One of these things that gets thrown out quite rarely.
But Daps gets information on that, and he now pushes, knowing that they didn't spot anyone. He's already outside toward Monster. Bintet has to be ready for that push. He's got him. Okay, we don't see it on camera, but that's an important kill just to keep options open, and because Bomb's down toward T-stairs, Daps could have easily started to push them over toward the A site.
Yeah, just to note
Breezy blocked by his teammate. He just walked into that. He walked in and his teammate blocked him. He literally committed suicide.
Well, not ideal, but somehow 2 more kills come in. The B-bomb site is open. Benta is going to get in there with Captain Mo and establish control, and the utility that Benta has will be enough to mitigate a couple of those angles, so we should be able to plant safely. The CT's hurrying on over as quickly as possible. All 3 will be coming through CT spawn. But where Captain Mo has found himself in is a very good position here. Just has to hit the shots.
Shot back out from Cirque. You're right, just had to hit the shots. He gets hit instead. So too now the shot toward Bintet falling apart in an absolutely catastrophic fashion. Even with Breezy, maybe perhaps doing it sacrificially and praying towards some deity, because it comes back to work out for NRG. And now everything I said about money and Tyloo playing this smart, gone.
That's a crazy round to go down. This is getting into that territory when we did see the Tyloo versus NRG situation. Sorry, Tyloo versus VP situation go down earlier in the tournament. There was so much chaos across the map that it was kind of hard to keep up. There was duels with the lion's share of players over towards A, and then the information plays that were going down towards, here's that block kill that you get to see, Matt. Yeah, so the Molotov spread. He goes to move. Teammate says, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
You're taking this one for the team. And then somehow they still trade off efficiently and win the round. So when you have a blunder and still win, you've got to be smiling and having a giggle about that one. Can't be hanging the head too low. AWP will come out in the hands of Excurate. Daps and Breezy are deciding what they want to buy. They haven't invested just yet. They can drop an AWP across to Cirque if they want to, because they've just got 3 free AKs, so their money is blossoming. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's right after they did great work to break the economy down of NRG. The last round, they stayed alive themselves. They win that last round, and they actually build the surplus, and NRG on the CT side are still digging themselves out of a deficit. They've just gifted so much to NRG in that last round.
I just want to touch on why that opening boost kill from Ethan was so important, because you saw how it forced the hand of Tyloo towards long. So you know at least 2 players have to be towards connector, and you know that it was there's the Aussie boy and the New Zealand lad there from well, they live here. They were from Beijing. They've come down for China Joy. They've come down to watch some Counter-Strike.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
As you were saying.
Just the point is, one kill, what it forced Tyloo to do. So this is why it got very confusing, because Tyloo's plan probably was going to be a little bit different, but once they lost the opening kill, once they identified where the FAMAS was and the fact that it had to be boosted, that's 2 players automatically. They went for the quick play towards long. As soon as they got into a little bit of danger, things slowed down, and then that rotation with the CTs came in, the trades came out, the flashes were used very well. Forced Tyloo over to B. So they were playing the rotation off the information they had well, but Mo not to get a kill in that situation, I don't know if that's the nerves. I don't know what that is. He should have at least had 1 in that situation. And then the dink instantly onto Bente as soon as he pokes his head out from that corner. Great work there from NRG to grab a round from the clutches. But we're going to get back into it now. Teams are saying they are ready and raring to go.
Well, just an issue, as is the case in such a venue, of noise. That's kind of where I was going with that microphone canceling. Yeah. And specifically where he said static, I was wondering if they were actually experimenting with it yet again here. I know they have used it in the past in very minor levels and whatnot. So Fugly down towards Sewer will immediately put an incendiary in place. DD out toward water, caught off by Ethan, already on the boost.
Another boost this time around. Different position though, still same result. And this time, Tyloo aren't forced into a decision. They're going to stay slow. To lose a player so early and not even have a chance to trade is quite devastating when you look at the stat line for Tyloo being the highest percentage rate team at trading in the tournament. I mean, they normally do that very well, and that's how they get into bomb sites and get into rounds. So they're going to have to go out with a bit of a search party to see if they can isolate somebody and not the player.
Anybody. Fugly tagged 60, has to back away. Flash to preserve himself. Discourage anyone who dare attack. Oh, and Xcurate very patiently watching the 2 connection points to the B site. Access points, if you want to call it that. Mo will now enter and take the initiative. Xcurate getting closer. This does, in fact, with 22 seconds, need to speed up because they're going toward B, a man down, and they've got no choice. As soon as any utility's thrown, the full rotation comes in. 3 players en route from the A site. They need to isolate Breezy faster. If this stays with 5 players alive, they're going to have problems. Oh, my goodness. It nearly worked out that it was a double kill. It works to now be a trade that works in the same result, if you will. It was a 2-2 because the lineup, in fact, meant somebody's had to spray through his teammate. Bomb was still planted in all of this, so Xcurate has a chance. Misses the first shot. That may take it away, but somehow finds Circle. Oh, I thought he had time. He does have the information from Intet. He gets back through Monster, and he refuses to go down without a fight. Fugly's tapped it and gone aggressive. He'll get it. It's NRG that's going to find 11.
The fact they steady there is very positive signs for NRG in the chaos.
He doesn't have a kit. Okay, he does have the time. I lost. I couldn't hear the beeping there for a second.
So just to note, Cirque leading the way, 21 kills, 16 for Breezy, 14 for Daps, 14 for Ethan, 12 for Fugly, the hero there, just finishing off in the 1v1 against Bentet. On the other side of things, we're looking at Bentet leading the way, 20 kills for him, DD 16, 13 on somebody who's had more of an impact in the second half. Extra at 12 and Captain Mo on 7. Pistol upgrade right now. They will be able to buy in the next because the loss bonus is building, and they have had those bomb plants come in, which helps with the money situation. So through Connector getting as close range as personal, we'll flash on out and take sewer control. Ethan will be the man to receive, M4 in hand. Not a duel he has to take, and before the flash comes in, he's going to back on off. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome. Now it's going to come on in. Up, sandbags very quickly. No, back and forth. Misdirection, confusing me. And I can see everything, so that's probably explaining the rotation and the very passive play from NRG over on that A bomb site. This is fundamentally the correct decision. You know, you sit back, you play for information, you use the range of your rifles. The thing is, if the pistols can get up close and personal, one flash comes in, it holds you at bay for long enough, you get run over. Little Zerglings rushing on in off that flash, and now a lot of pressure on this A defense.
Fugly with the angle to try and control from behind truck. Can't see through the flames, far too bright, staring at the sun essentially in this case for all intents and purposes. He still has managed to find somebody though. Daps and Cirque each with the kill. Only one in response from Excurate. He's now gone. Breezy on the flank and pretty straightforward at the end. No bomb plant. 4 players alive. NRG go up now by 3 rounds on a total of 12.
Flash was perfect. Gave them a chance to get up close and personal, but they decided to sit back and take the jewels from a less advantageous position. And easy as that. The cleanup crew comes out of the A bomb site, mops them away. NRG are in a very powerful position now, looking solid on this CT side, not looking flustered at all. They're trading efficiently. They're playing very good Counter-Strike. Always playing off each other, it seems. Never without a flash from a teammate, never without a player to trade. Always doing something as a unit. And that's what Counter-Strike's all about, unless you're simple. You can see here that Tyloo aren't establishing a pattern. They haven't had a chance to establish a real default. When your first gun round is off the back of somebody getting multi-kills, that's not a strategy, that's a plan. And that's a plan that's come to fruition, which isn't always going to be the case.
Beat show. Both ways that does go, but the crouch in position for Ethan's better off, better served. Yeah, absolutely right. The kill's coming back in return, more so from Excurate. Captain Mo gone. They know now Breezy's behind the barrels, but watch the smoke because that's peculiar. They can't do anything of it. No Molotov to be thrown in that direction to flush him out. He'll give it up. He'll concede it. They may overcommit to checking it. So the Molotov, I take it back, was in the air as I spotted the fact they did not have any left in their pockets. But Breezy still finds Bintet. They're slow on going. 37 seconds, and he's got the bomb down.
Come on, Tyloo. You have a chance there to be in transition. Force the CTs to rotate around the map. Instead, they stayed in limbo. They put themselves in a very weird environment, and now all the pressure has fallen on Excurate, whose only hope is to hit 3 miracle AWP shots, and he knows it's a tall task, and he's going to hold on to the AWP. He's going to live to fight another day. But the chase should come in. NRG have built enough of an economy right now to allow them to go more aggressive. They're not going to do so. 1 player and 1 smoke. Enough to stifle what was a number advantage.
With that, NRG continues the lead. 3 to go. Again, their map choice. They're running away with the CT side. The only rounds that Tyloo have. I should say only round, excuse me. At 8 at halftime. Was round 3 early by bomb detonation. We talked about the fact that they could have easily cracked the half wide open early in their favor, and then boom, lost to an eco. A 4-spy, if you want to call it that, but certainly lesser weapons. So getting aggressive, Fugly has the run toward the fountain. He'll have Daps alongside of him. The rest go over toward B, and Fugly wants to try and peek toward the stairs. Perhaps thinks better of it. He doesn't have the AWP. That is Cirque, and Cirque toward B. We don't see the op on B as commonly anymore. It's so easy and practical to get aggressive on the bathrooms, and it's very applicable to hold long with it. It's exactly that, a long corridor in which the scope has its benefits, but it's still viable toward Monster, and I have said that for a long time. We used to see it all the time in double op setups.
Yeah, it's used quite early to go for a pick towards B, like sandbags. You can post up there and get them as they're pushing through the tunnel. Same for Monster. If a teammate will flash you in, you can take a long-range duel because normally 1T is playing over towards that side of the map, just mitigating any aggression, and he's normally with an AK, definitely not an AWP, so it's favorable in those scenarios. But he isn't going to be offered up anything early. Will remain on the B bomb site with the big green in hand, and that is leaving Daps and Fugly over towards A, and Excurate, he wants to go hunting. He wants to see if he can find something, find some magic. If he can get a kill on the A bomb site, that will force a rotation from B and allow this 3-pack to poke their heads on out the Monster tunnel and put a lot of pressure on Ethan.
Ethan, yeah, he's got to make sure he's got this timing right.
There is no flash in play, so it's just a dry peek.
Smoke still down. Excurate will not be able to do anything running through. He's in fact not even with him. He's going to try and swing in late from the Monster.
Just save again.
Excuse me, the sandbag's position as it all fell apart. Breezy with 3 on that, and you can't even save that AWP. That's gone 14-9. Breezy gets 4 kills.
I don't understand why he wouldn't just opt to save and do the best he can holding onto that weapon. He's left with 3,600. That means someone has to drop him an AWP if they want another AWP. And whoever does that is going to have their economy completely blown open and won't be able to afford anything of their own.
Crowd trying desperately to get their team back into it. The Tyloo chants come through.
Need a bit more than the will of the crowd, I think, because this is a very flat T half. It's obviously not all grim because this is the map pick of NRG. But the worrying sign for me is the decision-making for Tyloo. We know that there is the communication issue between the Indonesian players and the Chinese. We know that they have to speak between themselves in the native tongue and then throw out a couple of English words to bridge the gap. And that is why we did have such a messy game against VP. I think both teams obviously making a lot of mistakes. Entertaining. Definitely not the prettiest game of Counter-Strike. Let's see if they've solved the puzzle. Let's see if they have an answer to any of these questions that NRG are throwing at them.
DD still toward Monster the boost again. This time it's Ethan. He'll fall off of it. And certainly hear the utility outside of that position. There's no need to commit. They've got information. Somebody's still waiting back toward the playground with Mo and Bintat working out from connector, but somebody's not advanced really far enough to give them any additional information from his position. So instead, he'll throw out a flash, smoke toward bathrooms, and then they swing in. Spray through from Bintat. Certainly reveals his position. Probably will be behind him. No one directly in the A site. They're almost going to play this long and allow them to work up, but so far, no commitment in that direction other than just the one player. Bomb's still over toward B.
Just to note, while they're posturing in this default right now, Bintat has only had 3 kills in this second half and 1 for DD. And they were leading the charge on the first half for Tyloo, so them cooling off.
Perhaps even more telling, they still are leading the charge on the scoreboard, despite that.
No one's catching up. No one else is doing any damage.
Only 8 kills for Captain Mo. Push from Fugly. He's timed this very well. He knew that they were toward the bathrooms. He now knows that they've fallen away. They had so much information from the connector position. Here he comes, in from behind. Gets only 1 so far, manages to vanish, to disappear. That slows them down, and the damage done onto DD as well is significant as Ethan and Breezy just have to wait at this point. Tyloo seem like they're lost on this T side. They can't get map control. They're certainly not forcing the rotations in their favor. And once again, they'll just get shut down and picked apart as Fugly sprays through. Not even so much at this point looking for the kill. Sure, he is, but it's not important that he gets it. He's just holding them off. And somebody has to stay alive here, by the way. They're going to try and push him. He does. He keeps the AK because otherwise he had no money.
Look, there's no reason that the CTs couldn't have gotten his face a little bit earlier and taken away that gun. At this point, their economy is flush. You got to be happy when everybody's still sitting above 6K after a full buy comes in. So no matter what happens here, you're still going to get another gun round in the next. But maybe a change of pace for Tyloo. Maybe throw in the chaos. Maybe throw in a bit of a random element, because right now, as you mentioned, no map control. They're not trading. I guess you can force trades. If you go fast, you go together. But Fugly opens the round up, gets a kill and gets away, drops a smoke, and the T's are definitely not going to be pushing through that from Underpass. Now Cirque gets it easy as that. Jump on in, he says. I'll take those kills day in, day out, and this is just looking abysmal from Tyloo as it falls apart, leaving them in a 3-on-5. An individual here needs to step up with a miraculous play, with a miraculous opening, if they even want to get onto a bomb site. And the low HP of DD, normally one of the more aggressive players of the unit. It's going to be towards the back of the pack with bomb in hand. So more pressure on Captain Mo and Execute here. There are 3 players at the A site. Flash is going to come out from Fugly's hands as soon as they get contact. Here it comes.
Daps ready. Spots it immediately. Bomb down as well. All too easy with the Shadow showing 16-9. It seemed all too easy in the second half for NRG. They started the momentum swinging in their favor by winning a forced buy, and they never looked back. A single round achieved only by Tyloo when they were on the attack, and the first map, as was their choice, is in the books. Silencing the crowd, I have to say, as well.
Things have definitely quieted down out there, definitely on the scoreboard as well for Tyloo, but we'll be back with the Analysts after a quick break to check out all the matches action.
guys out.
That was beast.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
One city, one stage, one trophy.
And another kill to find Fallen.
One moment. ESL 1 New York 2018.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
An outstanding showing to kick off the day here from Tyloo, but unfortunately it was not enough. However, their CT sides did show quite a bit of promise. My name is Trey Saranthus. I'm the quarterback of this desk, and of course, I have my receivers over here to my right, which will be Vendetta and Pip. You know, in hindsight, I didn't really think about that one for a second.
You never got to be the quarterback in high school, did you?
I never played football.
Ah, there you
go. Real football.
How un-American of you, like, really?
Unmoral?
Unmoral and un-American.
Un-American. Well, one thing that we can talk about is the showing here from Tyloo and Overpass, because believe it or not, there was a point in time where I think we were all kind of like, yeah, this one's going to go the distance.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, you know, they overcame the first hurdle, which is the T side of energy, and I think they did a remarkable job of doing so. We talked about it initially in the pre-show, how they need to change things up. They can't play scared. We saw that ever since the pistol rounds. Once we got into weapon rounds, they would change up their setups. They would go aggressive. You had multiple, you know, 3-man aggressive setups over towards A. You know, had DD peeking out, you know, pushing out Monster with, you know, pop flashes set for him and everything. Like, they were active about how they went about their CT side, which is a necessity, and that's how they actually got to have a pretty successful CT side in total. 8 rounds on the board versus Energy, I'll take that any day. The real issue is when you swap over to the second half, because the real monster of that Energy Overpass is their CT side.
Reality hits you. Energy is such a strong CT-sided team on Overpass. Cirque showed time and time again he's here to play, he's here to win a tournament. He had a great game overall, especially on the CT side, and also on the T side for that matter. He was like the catalyst behind those 7 win rounds on the T side. So
Optimal you mentioned with Execute and Cirque, no doubt came out the winner.
One out. Breeze had a great game as well. Nate didn't necessarily have the best game either. It wasn't like Energy were playing on full cylinders. They just did what they had to do, Trace.
Yes, they did, Jacob. Yes, they did. And I'm doing what I have to do right now. You see what's going on here. So let's move forward a little bit. Maybe not yet to Mirage, but perhaps on Overpass. How could this have gone a little bit differently for Tyloo?
It couldn't have gone any differently.
Outstanding.
Outstanding. They played their best right here. I think, as you said, you know, they played their CT side perfectly. They got 8 rounds, that's okay, but when it got to the T side, they had nothing more to give. That's just how it is. The strength difference between these two teams on Overpass was just showcased right here. This could easily have been a 16-4, 16-5 had Benton not had such a great CT half and had Tyloo played a little bit more scared. So I think they got the best out of it.
Yeah, and I mean, just very quickly, we could see how much of an issue they have because we talked about how it's difficult to get on bomb sites. They only got 4 bomb plants that entire T half, and that was all within the first 5 rounds of the game. So pistol rounds and your anti-ecos where, you know, it's kind of okay to give up a couple of bomb plants, but when guns are out, nothing's happening.
Sun's out, guns out is the sentiment here in Shanghai. Of course, there are no real weapons, thank goodness. Now, one guy that we can get a word from is the coach of Tyloo, who is actually standing by right now. Let's hear exactly what they have to say going into this next map.
Yeah, thanks, Trace. Thanks, Crusade, for stepping aside to talk us through, because your team are in the losing position in front of their home crowds. I know you want to get back to them, so tell us, on that first map, what happened particularly with your T side?
On T side, I think we didn't play as decisive as we wanted. Guys were like kind of not confident enough, and we were kind of caught off guard by their like small tactics or like setups, and guys were like not playing their own game. Hopefully on Mirage, it's our map pick, and we'll play like with more confidence, and we can like win this map.
You say your guys weren't playing their own game. We had a lot of timeouts, particularly very early in that map. What's going on in your players' heads?
You mean the first map?
Yeah.
So like some of the things we didn't expect they would do, like they were pretty aggressive, and that's what caught us off guard, basically.
But you presumably prepped for them. You must have watched VODs of NRG. I know you don't have any direct experience against them, but you must have been watching things to build up to a massive finals.
Yeah, we watched demos and we prepared. It's just we need to play with more confidence, that's all.
You're going onto your map. You have a huge win ratio. It's something like 76% of your games you win on this one. This is the confidence booster you need then.
Yeah, like we are confident to win this map, so but we still need the support from the crowd.
I think they're giving it to you. I think they're giving it to both teams here at IEM Shanghai. Crusade, thank you very much. Good luck to Tyloo. Good luck to NRG. We go to the second game.
We do go to the second game, and that second game is Mirage. Guys, we're going to be getting into it rather quickly, so let's kind of hone in on some of those win conditions we keep harping on here going into Mirage. what could change around. We've got roughly 2 minutes for.
I want Bentet to keep being Bentet. He needs to have a great game once again. He had a great showing on Overpass. He needs to continue because we have seen Nate, we have seen Ethan play up on Mirage as well. Two very strong rifles for energy, so he needs to be the key for them right here to grab a win on their confidence map. You said it yourself, 77% win rate on Mirage. That's pretty high.
Yeah, that's pretty high indeed. And I think in terms of the off battle between Cirque and Xcure, I don't think we can expect Xcure to win out that battle, but he needs to make it more of an even contest if Tyloo want to have a shot at this. So not necessarily being able to win out every duel he goes up against Cirque, but at least being able to find pickoffs or room for his own where he doesn't necessarily need to take that duel in the first place. If he can go up against other players on that side and still get a man advantage for Tyloo, that's optimal for them. As for, you know, other individual players on the side of Tyloo, I think Captain Mole had a bit of a rough start to the Overpass. You know, still a lot of CS yet to be played. I think he can still get into the groove of things, and I think that's going to be vital for them. We've seen it so far in this tournament. He's been playing really well. I think they could need like a vintage Captain Mole performance.
In some ways, he's getting gassed up. He's rolling up here to the occasion.
Yeah.
And he's getting ready for this match. I mean, who knows? First map of the day. It's a grand final, big audience, big crowd. We're going into Mirage, so perhaps that also plays into the factor. But I want to ask you guys this. Knowing what we know about Tyloo on this map and the success rates and just how dominant they can be on it, do we give them an edge here and say that they could take the second map?
I think this is more of a coin flip than I'd given an edge to Tyloo, but this has been Tyloo's staple. This is where they made a mark in international CS for the longest time. This is where they've taken down Na'Vi, they've taken down, you know, the former SK, now MIBR. This is where they've, you know, really made their mark, so I expect it to be the same going into the second match.
They established themselves on Mirage by playing a little bit unorthodox, and that's what we want to see again right here. We talked about it once again. We got to see aggressive Tyloo, we got to see confident Tyloo, Trace.
We've got to see an aggressive, a confident, and most importantly, a fully functioning Tyloo, as well as Energy, having the potential to take it all right here, 2-0. Well, to bring us that action, it's going to be Sponge, and it's going to be Santa Kiss. Boys, give it to us.
X gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you too, Trace, but that's a little bit later. We got a game first. NRG versus Tyloo on Mirage. This time it's Tyloo's home turf, quite literally and in the server.
Well, the preparation will definitely have been done for NRG, knowing this was going to most likely be the map pick. And this is where we get to really identify if the depth or if the chance of Tyloo ever becoming a world-class team is there. With their backs up against the wall, one map down to the grand final on home turf, with a team and a coach who will do preparation, who will look at your tendencies, and who will exploit your weaknesses. If you can't adjust here on the biggest stage of your careers, you may just be posing, Matthew.
Nobody likes a poser. So bomb looks like it's going to go back over toward A. No aggression toward middle at all. Bintet, in fact, will rotate, and somebody's without that aggression in middle, without anyone else there, electing not to go the underpass and connect through the stairs.
Yeah, just with these smokes that we do see in play on Xcure and Bentet, once again, they are the ones who buy the utility for Tyloo as the two Indonesian-speaking players for the squad. And Bentet is the in-game leader, tends to go hand in hand. It will just probably be the standard smoke wall here, covering off stairs and the jungle position. The smokes will come in, the flashes will come out, and three players will be flooding out of Palace any second. Ethan standing to deliver from Ticket. Will grab one big shot, fires away, but will go down to somebody. The trades have happened, and A is open for business.
Open indeed. They're going to get aggressive. DD wants to hold off the rotations. Gets down, takes Daps as well. Waits for the flash from his teammate. Smartly reads it, swings in, and Daps falls. It's now the bomb planting, but the interesting thing is they put so much aggression towards CT, they've actually given up the inside of the site. Unfortunately for Fugly, he's left alone and can't do much with that. They could have potentially defended the defuse. Xcure walks out and gives himself up. One-on-one. Fugly, no kit. He's going to go aggressive. No kit the problem. He's too far from the bomb at this point in time, so it's all about just getting kills. Okay, take back. The kit that he wanted is inside of the CT position. Does he have time to get back there?
He should have this. This is going to be tight, but I think he has it.
Oh, man, if he pulls this off, that's unbelievable. They give up the kill. All they had to do was keep him away from the kit. They didn't know because he ran, got the kill while running, picks up the kit, and just barely gets back.
DD had no need to jiggle peek. He could have just played really tight in that corner. He did fantastic in that round. That kill he got on Cirque, pushing into the CT spawn, killing Daps with the kit, stopping the retake from that position. All he had to do in that one-on-one was just hide tight in that corner. He must have been able to hear him getting chased on out. Maybe he's feeling it. Maybe he knew he was hitting the shots. And they're going to go for a Deagle, 2 P250s into the second. Obviously with the plan, they can buy in the third. 4 players cascading Over the top of middle. Now they slow it down. Now they walk down the mid-ground. If Cirque picks wide, which he does, thank God, once again, the fantastic teamwork of NRG with a flash allows him to poke out and not go down, but Breezy will get aggressive. He will drop, and there we go. Finally, Cirque's able to find a kill. Okay, so now there's a lot of presence on middle from NRG. 3 players. That's a long-range shot.
Yeah, that Molotov as well. There's nothing really Execute could do. Forced out, caught by the MP9. DD with the big D. That's Deagle, Chad.
My mind is never in the gutter, so we wouldn't have any problems with that. They should just get mobbed here, but Captain Mo. No, they're all going to go cat now. I thought if you got close connect, they might be able to pop out as they face from catwalk and spotting the bomb, spotting the rotation. They will now head over towards kitchen. The CTs have got that B bomb site more than covered, and Fugly's position long range with the silenced M4. Able to inflict a lot of damage. But DD is able to weasel his way through the window. This could be pivotal. There are 30 seconds left, and Mo's going to get caught looking the wrong way, picking on out. There's Cirque with another one for the round, and I think DD's best job here is just to grab a couple of kills, see if he can inflict a bit of damage, because they will be buying next. You want to make it as expensive as possible for NRG buying into the third. Not going to have the luxury of that. Cirque will continue his dominance. Grab another kill. Put the round on the board, and now we see the AKs come out. With the low utility, normally on a map like Mirage, you'll see teams go for contact plays or explosions. They do have enough smokes to go for a mid control, but from there is where the trades need to come in. From there is where we really need to see Tyloo step up and play as a team. You can't be making individual decisions, because I'm going to point it out throughout the entirety of this match how often you see NRG with one player standing with a flash up for his teammate, ready with fantastic teamwork. And it's going to be a quick connector play from somebody. It might catch Cirque off guard, or maybe not. Very wise to this one.
So Cirque changes his angle. Nearly gets caught out by timing. Smoke down. He has to reset. One gets forward of it. Inside now, connector is somebody, and Cirque still waiting, still ready. But starting to doubt his position because they didn't have any further information toward middle. He considers that they might have gone for a boost, and he'll back off by the vents, rotate towards stairs instead. No potential to be taken down from either side. Therefore, connector Ethan holding himself alive. Somehow it's Sandwich. No reason to be there anymore. Cirque a little bit late in his rotation. Does at least get the angle he wants to find somebody, but he's lost Ethan in the process, and it's a 2 versus 2 with the site. I say open in terms of everything inside of it, but the perimeter heavily fortified by the AWP. Though Daps only has the MP9. He can close that gap toward Bintet very quickly. No need to peek for Execute. Let him cross. Let Cirque deal with him. If you have to, on a 2-0 scoreline, concede the plant. He goes out too early. Execute gets it back. Cirque gets the information, knows Bintet's out over toward connector, but what a headshot from the AK.
Statement there from Bintet. The two top fraggers looking at each other, going toe-to-toe in a 1v1 there. She's just showing her wallpaper. Doesn't even have a little sign up anymore. Here's a problem on the old cellular telephone device. Got to make sure you got the right apps open, Matthew.
I want that app.
The little scrolly board, the board one. I wonder what it's called.
It's probably called Scrolly Board.
Yeah. All right, now NRG kept honest. We'll take an eco. The spacing by Tyloo has been very poor. I don't want to be hugely critical. They did win the round, but they just don't seem to want to get in and help each other on the trades. They're so strung out. It's going to be an A play. Smokes Molotov's going to come over any second. And this is where Breezy with the pistol, with the P250, could do a lot of damage. Captain Mo does take the dink, but DD's there to make sure his comrade doesn't fall.
Interesting boost.
Great.
Oh, yes, absolutely, but somehow doesn't get the kill. All the damage, not the kill they need, because bomb gets planted as a result, despite that they find Bintet immediately after, but it may not matter. Look at the kills coming through from NRG. It's a similar situation to how we started off half 2 of map 1, if you remember, when Tyloo went for the early buy, and NRG, with very little money, was able to somehow pull it back. It's on to Execute. He hasn't had a terrible game, but not the games we've seen from him. This tournament, he's been exceptional. Incredible in some cases. He's going to have to be the same. They have no idea where he is. Daps looking the wrong direction. They thought he was in Palace, but there's the misses we're talking about.
Fugly again. He's going to get it again.
It's going to be equally close, but yes, he will get away with it. This time, no kit. Doesn't matter. He was on it with time. Unbelievable.
How can that be so sloppy? How can that Execute with all that utility, with all the firepower in your advantage? You have the opening kill onto the bomb site. what are people watching? You know what the CTs have to do with pistols. You know that the aggression has to come through the smoke. Bentek committed. He took so much damage while that boost came in. He was still planting. He didn't get off immediately. As soon as I would be getting tagged, I'd be off. But he continued, and then he didn't even finish the plant. Had to get planted later because he took a little bit more damage and then moved. Either commit the plant, move away from the position. The decision-making from Tyloo here is so poor.
Oh, failed run boost for what it's worth. Mo flings across with his deagle. I don't think he was spotted. He maybe Fugly might have seen his feet. Either way, Incendiary goes down. Somebody's forced back in the apartments.
They need to stabilize, Matt. They need to find themselves in this, because NRG, they play as a team. They're playing off each other. They swarm when there's an opportunity to find the kills, and they've been making it work. With the B attack, Daps is the only one here to receive. Breezy is in rotation, and so Cirque through the kitchen. The opening kill will fall, and like flies, the rest of Tyloo tumble down.
Nice shot from Cirque. He's been absolutely on form. Incredible. Bintet, nothing to do but die in that situation. He gets caught out behind the van with low HP. 4-1 for NRG. Tyloo only winning round 3 early bye, and then the immediate reset. Plants 2 rounds ago, which will help them now. But even still, they're not in a good position.
Oh, that's a huge second shot. Consolation prize, really, but maybe positive signs. You can see them gearing up as this game progresses. Here's Tyloo's map pick. So the default spread, Captain Mo towards Palace, Benta throwing the nade from spawn. Spirit very passive towards top mid in case of any aggression, which he might get Daps if he overextends here. Curiosity killed the cat, and Daps doesn't purr, that's for sure. Didi and somebody both towards underpass. This is going to be a late mid crunch.
Nade was anticipating correctly that there will be a presence from that position, but it's thrown early. Additional utility in the way of a smoke toward the window. Daps wants to peek this, but gets away, and rightfully so, because if he stayed in mid and his back turned to the high side boxes, he might have had a problem. Bintek gets there now. So either way, Daps was going down. This time, it's Didi instead, though, that gets it. Watch for Cirque. Oh, I thought Bintek was going to be the open. He's just behind, but it doesn't matter because Cirque still finds Didi. They want to get the op in position in return. If he re-peeks it, have Execute try and take that duel, but that's not been favorable. Cirque has been winning it time and time again. This is one shot this time. Ethan pops out. Everywhere they go, they're just getting overwhelmed. Not being able to find kills, not winning duels at all, and Bintek stuck with nowhere to go and no idea what to do in that situation. Goes down, and it's now 5-1 NRG.
This is grim. This is very grim. Tyloo are known for thriving in the chaos. They're not even able to cause any, and the one round where there was a dash of it, the completely underinvested NRG come out on top in a round which, to be honest, shouldn't really have any say in winning. Now, Tyloo have to take another eco. They have to upgrade into a couple of pistols. They have to hope for an absolute miracle here. And
keep in mind, though, NRG absolutely destroyed Gambit as well.
Yes, they did.
Yesterday in the semifinal, to the point where, as Matt Andrews pointed out on Twitter, he'd never seen a team, and I don't think I have either, take 3 times, well, certainly not at a top tournament, ever take 3 timeouts before they even achieved 3 rounds. I mean, Gambit was lost. They were in disarray, and it's the same thing here for Tyloo.
Problem is, I don't know if 4 timeouts is enough time for Tyloo to communicate what they need to adjust.
Well, that's one of the things, right? Communication on this team has been under question for a while.
This approach is just so uncharacteristic of a team that is known for its twitchy aim, for pushing smokes, for getting away with daylight robbery at times. When you play like this, you're playing into NRG's hands. They're used to the fundamental Counter-Strike. That's stuff that they're happy to take day in, day out, and 2 kills without, so you'll find a 3rd, Circle finish off, and this is easy. This is like dry runs against bots at this point.
Well, NRG were composed as always and looking comfortable as Cirque.
It's been a bit of a revelation this year, hasn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, considering the fact that, you know, Bulgarian player, young at that, takes a chance to go to North America, play with people he doesn't know all too well. And it's been a massive success story for him. Keep in mind, is on top of that, even in Bulgaria, he wasn't on the G-Play, Bubble Victor, Spy Leader, etc. squad that was so prominent in that region.
I guess the old guard of that region, right? It must be difficult for younger players to break through when they have that blockade up and about and you don't have enough talented players by your side to cause a dent, cause a commotion. And a commotion is what we need from Tai Lu. Once again, a slow approach. NRG have no pressure applied at all. Utility will come out now. And he's going to force the hand of NRG to react. With this close A ramp set up from Cirque and Ethan, it means that Fugly doesn't have to have too much pressure applied to him in middle. He doesn't need to make a kill, he just needs to play for info. Because what happens as they try and take connectors, they try and take windows, Cirque and Ethan can push a ramp and take Jules there, but it will be a B split and 3 players for NRG already reside.
Xcurate jumps inside of the site, spots out Breezy. Daps got Bintet this time, and with speed, they actually get some work done. Daps, stuck behind the van, is somehow still getting killed. Flash is going to come up shy. Thankfully, the bullets still land for Mo, because that could have been awkward. He found a 3rd kill in that position. My God. It's still not done either. 46 HP DD, 19 for accurate. Xcurate, as Ethan works in with Cirque. Ethan will go first, naturally, as he has the M4. Isolating either side with smokes. They shall try and penetrate through the middle of quad. And Ethan immediately finds Xcurate, op down. He continues to search. He's trying to bait out shots. But time starts to work in the favor, finally, of Tai Lu. Indeed, he's able to swing. It comes to a one-on-one after all of that, which brings now the reset potential to an all-time high. But it's still Tai Lu getting a second. And at this point, focus on round after round and getting them on the scoreboard. $10,000 for Cirque.
Yeah, no problems for NRG throwing together a buy here. Still, I hold my breath every time we go into those mid-rounds. Even with a number advantage for Tai Lu, it's so sketchy. The decision-making could fall apart at any time. Xcurate swings to take a duel. No one else picks off of him, right? He's just bought all the attention. People appear to be playing scared, not playing for the team. Now, if that was the game plan, if that was the call, I know he was on low HP, that's fine. From a fundamental perspective, if you're going to pop a flash out, if you're going to have a teammate step, you want to fight, you want to take the duel, you want to trade. You don't want to allow 1v1s to happen, but this could be the step in the right direction for Tai Lu. There we go, that's a gun round, that's what we're talking about. And they have the AWP for Xcurate. Wonder if we'll be seeing a pace change at any point. That's the play I was talking about. You can see that nobody really pivoted from their position. Diddy will finish things off, and he's happy about that one.
Smoke at the ready for somebody. Waiting to see if there'll be a push through up above on the ledge.
Oh, look at this. They're going to be able to swing a rotation over towards A instantly. Daps is going to be able to drop back and go and help out. No, Daps is going seeking, which means Cirque can drop back, but the smokes and flashes will come over. This is going to beat the timing of the rotation. In goes DD on the entry.
One thing that could have happened if Cirque wanted to go catwalk, though, was he could have got the AWP to fire through connector. Either way, it's Ethan again towards Sandwich this time. He only gets one. And Mo pulls it back. Try and fire out. Smokes have a timer. They've got to get there. And Bintet's towards Sandwich with bomb. He needs to cross over inside of the site. The smoke's now down behind him. They're gone. They're dissipated. Fugly swinging in, and there you go. They can't even plant it because their own design, their own execution took too long. And bomb is in the open. Xcurate's hitting some excellent shots, but he needs 2 more of them. Otherwise, it's all for naught, and the reset is in. It's done, and NRG goes 7-2 with no money on the Tai Lu side. Has to commit to this, therefore.
Look at Fugly, how smart he is. He knows the bomb's down. He knows that Xcurate wants to find a 1v1 if he can, and he's going to play for the win. He's going to play for the clutch here. So the bomb will get picked up, and the bomb will get planted. That's fantastic news for the bank account, but still 2 huge kills to find. This flank is the danger zone. Is Xcurate going to expect Fugly to be here already? If he doesn't turn now, he's dead. That's it.
Done. Especially where he jumped, made noise. Fugly knows it. Doesn't have to do anything. He could just sit here and wait to figure out what Xcurate's going to do in turn to his teammate. And there we go. Bye-bye. Reset in. AWP even picked up to add a second one to the NRG side for the cost of very little. And this game is slipping away from Tai Lu. Slipping might be a nicer way of putting it. It's falling straight off a cliff. It's an avalanche, Chad.
It doesn't even feel like NRG are having to do anything special. They're just playing by the book at this point. Oh no, Tai Lu once again for the pistol upgrade. After this next gun round, you're in the danger zone. You need to start putting rounds on the board. I want to see Tai Lu going for some crazier buys, for some crazier rounds, for a little bit more aggression, for a little bit more flair. Show us that fire, Tai Lu. The dragon as a logo right now. It's just a myth, isn't it?
Cirque. No wait with the op yet again. Somehow they've been gifted some access toward the A site. Somebody's there. He's all the way in, but all the attention in middle is rotated everyone around. Unfortunately, the bomb is in that direction, so somebody's got excellent position, but nothing he can do. All right, let's see how clever he can be.
And
let's see how much of an artist he is. Gets one turn, they all realize he's there. I don't think no matter which way he went with that, he was only going to get one, and that was it. Anything more than that might have been difficult.
Colleagues to the right of us getting the crowd going.
Something's got to at this point, right?
Or somebody.
Somebody, according to Pasha.
I think that NRG have picked the perfect mix-up at every occasion here. They've done smoke molly defenses when they've needed to. They've done mid-control. They've backed off in the right equations.
Was that karate or was he dabbing?
Could be Tai Chi.
DD inside smoke, waiting to bust through quickly. Ethan will rotate back up the ladder room.
But then look at this. They have a 3 rifle setup around middle that can all pivot off of one another. Breezy over here towards Catwalk, Ethan over towards the vent room, and Fugly at Connector, meaning that smoking out the AWP player of Cirque, who's all the way over to Ticket, doesn't matter. The rifles want to play in this range. And they're going to have 2 players able to attack from Cat here as 4 players in middle now from Tai Lu, Amelie, and Limbo, held at bay by their own smokes. Oh, the timing.
Somebody sneaks through, gets close. Fugly, last time we saw this situation, it was actually the off from Cirque that was there. Fugly's gonna hold it set. Breezy catwalk corner, no way out of it, had to fight. Somebody in Bintech get the kills, but here we go. Ethan top ladder. Somebody swings, gone. Takes down one in window.
Oh, this is huge.
And Ethan knows they've gone by. They think Window's gonna be the only player in the position that's gonna be anywhere near menacing, and here we go. Hold it, bomb, gone, not planted. Perfect spray and execution from Ethan.
More micro details here. Cirque from the A bomb site was taking pot shots towards Cat with the AWP, which would lead you to believe, well, if someone's looking towards Cat, there can't be a player close. So even if they did suspect someone to be in the vent room, at that point, that's been completely removed. Ethan's had an opportunity to come on out, hold down the trigger of the M4A4, close out yet another round for NRG. That's 9 on the board, and questions for Tai Lu. That's all they've got. They're perplexed. They're puzzled. And now they know that they have to buy. They know they have to force into this. They know they need rounds on the board. Right now, 2 AKs, 2 Galils, UMP, bit of utility, but this is it. Get stuck in, Tai Lu. It's your time to fight.
It's a bit disappointing, I have to say. Back to that. Cirque holds one. Fugly under the shadow position. They don't even check it. DD does, but they immediately get peeked again from CT. Thankfully, DD's able to swing fast enough and read that, anticipate it. Bomb didn't need to
No one's covering him.
There's not even any smoke, no utility. He's got low HP. What were they expecting? Daps walks out and he's easily able to hit that. He could have blew him a kiss at that point and he would have gone down. DD gets Cirque back, but it's a 1-on-2. Needs to spray this and he can't do anything with it. Bomb plants at least giving them money, but this is almost heartbreaking at this point. Tai Lu finally in front of their home crowd. IEM Grand Final. This is not an opportunity this team gets often. Finals, let alone in front of the Chinese audience, and this is a bitter pill for them to swallow.
Boy, oh boy.
This was a chance for them to live out a glory moment.
Hey, this is a dream. This is the stuff that you play for. This is why you spend hour upon hour, day upon day, week upon week playing Counter-Strike. Sure, the paycheck's nice, but lifting a trophy, and like you said, doing it in front of your home crowd, that is what it's all about. The buy has to come in. Extra's already bought the AK. They have to buy, they have to fight. Now here's the thing. You saw in the chaotic situation, they traded efficiently. That's what they're fantastic at. In the chaos, getting the kills. Sure, one player dies, but we'll get the next. grab the next. And then at that point in the post plants, normally someone steps up and does something crazy. So far, what have we had? We've had a couple of diffusers on the board, but every time NRG's been able to right the ship. We had the pistol round situation. DD did everything he could. Lost in a 1v1. There was the A execute early against the Eco. Execute left on a 1-on-2. He loses that one.
Yeah, it's remarkable. As you say, dream, nightmare. One or the other right now for Ty Lue. They're going to need a miracle either way to pull back into this game. Round 13, Mac 10 for somebody. The rest on AKs. Surf down toward middle will get away. No one pressuring behind the smoke. In fact, he's ready for the arrival, and he's perfect to take down Execurate once more. He'll rotate around as well. Get toward the window room. In fact, thinks better of that even still, and will stay more dynamic with the AWP. He'll move back over towards CT stairs. Fugly will rotate back instead to cover off the chance that anyone gets down middle, boosts up, and a rifle is therefore in support of B. And the op needs to be covered by utility in way of smoke. Remember that smoke that was not there last round when they tried to plant the bomb in the open?
Hindsight's a bitch.
I always thought it was 2020, Chad. I'll take bitch. That works.
I thought we were only in 2018.
It's true. We got 2 more years.
Then we'll be able to reflect on our lives. It's going to be an A collapse right now, and Ethan again in a very forward position. We'll have overseers of Breezy and Cirque. Ethan doesn't even need to find the opening here. The thing is, everyone else is a distraction, and it's going to be difficult to check that position late. Somebody continues to jump around the corner. Breezy will get a very easy kill there. The trade will follow, but now Ethan's position comes in, and DD swings, gets a huge kill, and this time Captain Mo is going to cover CT spawn, but has 2 angles to worry about. Cirque will miss again. Now we have a 2-on-2. This is where it gets interesting, but from the stairs, Daps, the rotation from B's come in. Works so far.
Watch out, though. DD hugging the corner, knows they're pushing, tries to bait them out by firing in, and Cirque gets the shot instead from within the site. He was held off by the Molotov. That time to get the bomb down, and even still, they can't cover the angles off.
Can you, we need to know. I'm being critical of Ty Lue and the fact that they're not doing the fundamentals well. Contrasting to NRG, who are doing the fundamentals perfectly. You have to think in that situation, they're confident on these guys winning 11-2. Why doesn't Daps just wide swing and go for that duel? He's feeling this, you know, it's all cool, we're just going to get the kill. No, I'll jiggle peek the corner. I'll allow my teammate with the AWP to get in position. If I don't get the kill, he's going to get the trade. And they're perfect. They force DD to take a fight and drops. They're doing this constantly. It's great.
Yeah, it's a team not taking anything for granted. You know, if 100%. This was FaZe or anyone along those lines, they're going to think 11-2.
Sure.
Us versus them. Let's go.
Just take the fight.
But these guys are not giving away anything because they themselves want to win an IEM championship. They've been in such great form lately with the exception of one very important event known as the Minor. They will not be attending the Major, but you go back to ECS before that. Excellent. A number of other good results as well. Daps getting a reload and not aware that somebody gets that close. So they have opened up something to work with. Bintech gets Fugly. Cirque still trying to hold off inside of the site through the window. Hello. And he will. He'll get somebody down. Breezy still on catwalk, and he'll spray 2. Even when they get the opening, it gets closed. Bintech versus 3.
Even when it starts to look good, NRG just shut the door in their face.
Cirque's already staring down the hallway with the AWP as well. Or at least toward it through the window, I should say.
Well, the flank's coming in as well from Ethan, so even if Bentech gets 1 kill here, that's all it's going to be, and it's not even going to be that at all, as he will fall. 12 rounds on the board for NRG now, only 2 for Ty Lue. I am also very happy with the amount of different faces NRG have shown on their CT side, constantly changing up setups. They have a lot of different maneuvers in play. They're playing close to a ramp, they're doing mid control. They're playing 3 rifles around middle, putting the AWP over towards Ticket, playing for information. It's good signs all around for this NRG roster going into what will be left of the player break for them. Now Cirque in the window gets a free kill, no flash, nothing to push him off the line. He wants more, and he'll pick off his teammate's flash, and there it is, the teamwork. It won't be a kill. The fundamentals ring true once more. Gives Fugly a chance to play around the smoke. He's going to grab 1. The kills just trickle into the feed as NRG are going to take this 13-2.
Unbelievable. This time it's Ty Lue's choice. They look flat, they look lost. It's momentum, I think, more than anything. It's one thing to put up numbers to be close, but as soon as they were knocked back even a little bit, lost a few very important duels, lack of utility, the communication, you said it, was breaking down. We know that the language barrier within the team does exist. but they just crumbled mentally more than anything. Skirret even slow to respond as Ethan wraps into an easy position, swings wide, gets the kill. 13-2 the score for NRG, who are now 3 rounds away at the end of the first half from hoisting the trophy, from winning Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai. Whether or not they do that, we'll find out after the break. So far in this series, it's been the Shanghai for NRG, but nothing but destitute lows for Tyloo in front of their home crowd. Finally back in an IEM final for this organization after 8 years. They are nowhere near, or more near to that trophy than they were that time, because it's 13-2, as I said, with one map already in hand for NRG.
Yeah, Tyloo in the position right now to be saying Shang bye bye bye.
I don't want to be a fool for you. Just another. Sorry, carry on.
Is going to be a split now. 2 players will be coming through the underpass, Breezy and Cirque. That smoke grenade that you are seeing on the hands of Daps lobs over towards short to fake out B and draw that cap player back, which will allow them up connector with ease. The bomb will come out a ramp, 1 out of apps, and if Mo peeks for information, he's going to get offered up a free kill here. They're jumping on in. A headshot there for Captain Mo. Much needed opening for Tyloo.
Against Virtus Pro, their pistol rounds were not that promising, but he was. He was very consistent with that weapon. So with 100 HP and 1 kill already to his name, it's encouraging as he rotates around as well to play towards CT with his teammate. Bomb's going to rotate back out, however. Cirque wants to hold off middle in the rotations. They are all toward A. But they realize now there's no one else here. If Cirque catches off TD and calls the rotations are going back, do they return? And they will. Thugley and Ethan immediately turn back the other direction.
Round and round we go. Both teams here not reading the rotations very well. Cirque's position is known, but B is open, and they could actually be in. They obviously aren't. We know that. Tyloo don't. And onto the bomb site they will get.
Somebody trying to battle with Cirque. Important kill. He's the one who's turned this. You're right in saying NRG did not read the rotations, but his position has changed it all because now bomb gets planted. This round absolutely looked like it was going to go the way of Tai Lu, and it's not. It's not even close. It's going to be 14-2 surely, as Bintet finds himself suddenly in a 1 versus 3. Cirque's the magic man. Ethan gets the final kill, and we are 2 rounds away from a championship for the Americans.
What an absolute meltdown. 2 kills offered up for free. Both players not expecting the CTs to be exactly where they were holding. And the beast from Bulgaria just pivots on a dime and devastates any hope Tai Lu had. They are now up against it. This is crunch time decision making for the in-game leader Bintet and the star. Racking your brain in this one. Do we buy? Do we give them 15 and go for a little better buy in the next? Do we put ourselves backs against the wall where we have to win round after round? What do we fight now? And the option has been called. It is fight now. The pistol upgrade. The force buy will come out, and it's limp. 3 CZs, 2 Deagles, 1 smoke, and a flash. No defuse kits on the board. This is a chance that Tai Lu had to seize, an opportunity to make their fans proud. But right now, they're going to look back on this moment, and it's definitely slipped through their fingers. They haven't seized the day. They haven't made the most of what could have been something special for Asian Counter-Strike. B's open and they're in for free. They'll get the plant. There's no defuse kit. Save the armor and the CZs.
Somebody's timing is interesting, though. Cirque's not committed. He is looking back that direction, however, so it may not matter. This flank, as oh, he did spot him. Okay, looked like he was going to be staring in the wrong direction. He makes good on the AK. Breezy swings to the window, knowing that they're all on the other side of it. Execute with only 1 kill. And another round surely. And it's a save required if they want armor and weapons against what will now be championship point for NRG this early in the series. Little on the map, 16-9, they won Overpass. Tai Lu, absolutely nothing on offer in this game. And this absolutely will be hard for them to deal with. Coming to Europe, they've put up some okay results individually if you isolate various maps, upsets over top teams. They haven't really ever had a deep run in events. But this one, they would have absolutely wanted. Looks unlikely now.
Matt, these are the type of games that slip away from you so quickly that you sit there and go, have we even played? Were we even the server?
Well, that's the hardest part of it. It's one thing to lose putting in your absolute best effort.
Yep.
And making it a close game and giving yourself a chance that you could have won this. They've not given themselves that chance at all. There's not been a moment in this series where I thought, yep, looks like they could actually win this.
The problem here is, even if they are poised, they're just not getting anything done. They're falling like flies. They're not putting up a fight individually. As a team, their decision-making has been poor.
Skirret trying to stare down through connector with the scout. Even that goes wrong as he oversteps the mark and gets picked apart to 9 HP. DD, he just says, screw it, I'll commit. And behind him, Skirret did the same thing. Cirque gets 2 once again. As he takes down Bintet. Somebody, the last alive, and for Tai Lu, it will be not anything close to what they wanted. It's a bitter pill to swallow. Bintet's already called GG. NRG have walked all over these playoffs. Dominant performance against Gambit yesterday in the semifinal, arguably even more so against Tai Lu. And a championship that certainly shows form and to prove the form that they've been on. I think well-deserved. It's been coming for a while. It, again, will be without a major berth, but it's still their name engraved in a legendary tournament. Tai Lu will sit in dismay. Shake hands. The crowd should still be proud of the fact that they played this far into the tournament, but a difficult situation to be in for NRG. Hopefully this is the sign of more to come. And back into the European scene after the player break. They'll want to continue on with this. This is a confidence booster. It's something absolutely they'll be proud to take into the player break. Long flights home for many of these guys, but it'll be one they welcome, given that they are now the champions of IEM Shanghai 2018. Walking to the stage, a team that walked all over everybody. NRG, champions in Shanghai!
win this match. You are champion. How do you feel that?
I feel great.
Yeah. Do you want to say something?
I want to thank everyone for coming out. It's nice to have everyone show up, and I love China.
Thank you very much. And next time, Matt.
We started this whole IEM days and days ago, and before we'd played a single round of anything, I was talking to you and I was saying, how is NRG feeling for this? You all relaxed? How are you? You're 18. This is a big deal. You guys were so relaxed from the start. Now you're the champions.
Yeah, it's fucking great. I wouldn't say that we were really relaxed throughout this match. Was really chaotic because the crowd was cheering really loud, and yeah, it was really chaotic for us, but it was a good experience.
More than a good experience, surely. You're now the champions of an IEM, and you did it breezing through this whole tournament. You barely, I don't think you even dropped a map the whole way through.
Yeah.
I think we'll call it at that. But like, tough, as you were saying, playing here at China Joy, and yet you walked all over Tyloo. Nobody really thought it would be that one-sided.
I mean, yeah, we got prepared. This is our last tournament before our break, so we wanted to put a good show.
And you did.
Yeah.
You gotta feel really, really good for that.
Yeah, this is my first event that I've won, so it feels great.
Ladies and gentlemen, NRG, the champions of IEM Shanghai. We are going to get you in here. Cirque, you lead the way. You led your team. You signed that up. The champions of IEM, they are NRG.
There it is. Oh my goodness. Daps has hoisted the trophy in Shanghai, and no more fitting of an end here to the Intel Extreme Masters 2018. I almost said 2008, wow. Anyway, they have done it. Energy have lifted the trophy, they've cashed the big check, and now all that's left is for you guys to make sense of how it happened.
I mean, well, we could start at the beginning. You know, that's a nice way to go about it. But yeah, no, I'd say even though the result is pretty telling that Energy were the better team, and that is the truth of it, by and large, I do have to, feel a little bit sorry for Tyloo how everything started. If you go back to the pistol round, losing that in the narrowest of margins possible, after winning the first buy round, the follow-up round, doing like it's history repeating themselves again. Repeating itself again and again and again. So Fugly being able to come out with clutch diffuses time and time again really screwed up everything in the early game for Tyloo. They couldn't get any economy rolling. They couldn't actually force the op out of the hands of Cirque, who just went into a completely different plane and just completely dominated everyone.
Dominated just like that. What do you got for us, Pimp?
As much as I want to praise Tyloo for a great tournament, this showing on Mirage in particular was just horrible. That was just unexcusable, unacceptable. They didn't play well at all. Lost too many clutch rounds, lost too many anti-eco rounds. I feel that's like our area we've been seeing them during the entire tournament. We talked about them 2 days ago when they won against Virtus Pro. They managed to win the last and third deciding map in OT by losing 5 anti-eco rounds throughout the game, right? That's just way too many, and that's a current trend for them right now, that they don't know how to play anti-eco strays. They don't know how to shoot people in those scenarios, right? And that's a problem for Tyloo. Overall, great tournament for them. They had great honor in this this final. I would say Overpass did it better than expected, better than you, Trace, and Mirage just not good enough.
It would appear as though their performance was better on Overpass than mine, being as though I didn't play. So with that, of course, guys, I kind of have to ask as well. I mean, we could talk about where Energy goes from here. They get the little bit of player break. Can they keep up the momentum on the backside of this? I think will be the biggest question mark surrounding this team.
Yeah, but I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to. I mean, they had the little bit of a downswing leading in, or like coming into this tournament. Now they've kind of rectified that. They go into the break with their heads held high and actually, a positive feeling to take a break on. I think they're going to be more motivated as well. Any sort of victory, like from any size of tournament, is going to feel good for a young team like this. So I think that's just going to build on their confidence, and that's what they're going to kick off the next season with.
So let's do this. I mean, we could talk about the next season. We could talk about where we go from here now that has wrapped up this this short season, might I say. I mean, it actually was, for all intents and purposes, pretty long season. Let's get some thoughts from you guys about just overall the team showing maybe not so much Tyloo, maybe not so much energy, but perhaps across the entirety of the brackets that we did have here in Shanghai.
I think there's no doubt that VP is the most exciting team to follow after this tournament. I feel they showed glimpses of potential, passes set themselves. They've been practicing more than they have in a while. That are learning to being 4 or 5 maps a day. That's not a lot, right? That's not a lot, but that's more than previous, right? Yeah. So Virtus.pro are back in it. They did a player change as well, brought in Snatchy, brought in Mihu some months ago. Finally, I feel VP is doing good for themselves. Finally, they're trying to get better. Finally, they stopped taking pride in being the same 5 guys, you know, having that legacy going around. That doesn't work anymore. It's out, it's over, right?
Cutting that excess baggage.
Cutting that excess baggage. Now you have talent on the team. You have guys that want to play the game. You have guys that can motivate maybe some of those old guys. So I think VP, without a doubt, the most surprising team here at this tournament, and without a doubt, the most entertaining team and most exciting team to watch in the future as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely get on board with that. And as for the lesser-known teams, I think we got to see, you know, even though necessarily these teams didn't get too far in the tournament, I think we did see some positive signs out of teams like 5Power because we got to see individual performances. That's something that they can bring with them. Again, it's a learning curve for a lot of these teams as well. Boot finally having a couple of games where they live up to what they've been able to do in their online qualifiers and so on, not just falling completely flat. That's a massive step in the right direction for them as well. And even Greyhound, I think they did pretty admirable for themselves. We have to consider the fact that they did get a pretty raw drawing in the big scheme of things, going up against Gambit and Tyloo, right? Not the easiest task for a fairly fresh squad. So I think, all things considered, if you look at the perspective of it, I think all those teams can actually be pretty okay with how things panned out.
West Gambit can't be happy with that performance. They got into the semifinals, it's okay, it's not too bad, but it didn't look good at any point. It just looked like they were scraping by. Obviously, they got in Blade as a new coach. It's going to be interesting to see for the future, for the major, in fact, how he's going to form this team, how he's going to work around it. But for now, Gambit didn't look like they didn't look like that team that went into a major final just 6 months ago.
Especially given that last map yesterday was not pretty from them, if I do recall correctly. Well, that does it for the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai 2018. My name is Trace Sorrenthis, and I have been your host, and it has been my pleasure and honor to enjoy this with all the poggers in the chat, all the lols, all the foreheads, all the omega lols, anything that you can think of, throw them out there now. Last chance. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
All eyes are on you. So give them greatness with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks and game like the pros. When you see the unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you'll find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the prize pool of Intel Extreme Masters. Game like a pro, because the world is watching.
Red Bull gives you wings.